It is 9:30 something on a Thursday night, and you're tuned in to Beltway Radio and Beyond, which can mean one and only thing. This is ChipChat. Welcome to ChipChat, everybody. I'm Chip. Somewhere is Tez, maybe.
I'm here. You just told me.
Who are you, Tez?
There you go. That's what you're supposed to say.
I can't see you, so I don't know what to ask. There he is.
It shouldn't matter if you can see me. You can hear me. You're always talking about this is supposed to be a radio venture. So if you can't see me, who cares? It doesn't matter.
That's true.
Yeah.
This is an audio format, so the visual doesn't matter. Despite the fact that it's everybody's visual. At work today, speaking of people who do radio but make it into a visual, that bald guy, what's his name? Not Brian. The other one?
Me?
No, Charlemagne.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, he was at work today. But I didn't go tell him that I'm better at radio than him.
Yeah, because I mean, you're so much further along than him in
we have devoted fans all over the world, man. We just had 1 million downloads in Japan. It was like crazy. All of a sudden, one day, early this year already, somebody was like, that's it. I'm downloading every third episode of this show.
Okay.
Going back to like
those are the good ones. Every third
2016. Episode. Yeah. It was weird. This happens every now and then. Anyway, all right. Welcome to the show. Yeah. We have this is a special edition of Chip Chat, by the way.
Yes.
Because
Okay.
Very rare.
Very rare. I would rather not have a special edition one day.
Well, yeah, me too. But they keep happening. Part of why this is special is because we're going to talk to Bo Wheeler of Arthur Wheeler Spirits Company.
That is the
good news part of
good
tonight.
News of this, yes.
Nothing else is good.
That would make it special, and we could if we can end there after the interview, I think Brian would be happy, and everybody we could just say that's it.
Yeah, I think everybody would be happier. But we have him here because Lord knows we all need a drink right about now.
God,
so
it's rough on a dry January for me.
Yeah.
I was reading through this today. I was like,
Yeah.
I saw the word tequila. I saw the word tequila and got
Yeah. We only got a couple more weeks. You'll make
only a couple more weeks. I'll bring the bottle.
Yeah, right. Last time you and I had a bottle of whiskey was a great night.
It was a great night.
That went very well. So we're gonna ask Bo for some of his fancy booze. Maybe he can send it to us through the internet. It's a series of tubes after all.
Yeah, of course.
Ted Stevens said so.
Odd squad.
Yeah. Okay. So also, Tez has to talk about the Fed. So we have a double Tez talk tonight, and
Fed and our favorite AI. Hey,
yeah.
I'm gonna start finding sounds in the background.
I don't know how that happens. It just happens.
It's
I
you.
think so. It's
was
a
you.
notification.
It was
I
you.
gotta turn those off.
You gotta figure that out. We're just gonna start.
I don't know how to do any of that, and I'm certainly not gonna do it now. I'm gonna break my computer.
No, don't do it now. So then
I need some sort of genius IT guy to tell me how to do that.
The penalty for this that happened all show last week. Yeah, there you go. There you go. That's the production value.
I didn't know you can hear those. I thought only I can hear those.
Woo, okay.
Brian, fix it. All right. So yeah, you're going to talk about the Fed. I'm worried about the Feds. The Feds. And Brian is going to call the Feds when we ask him about the possible seismic shift in football, which actually I got beat. Like I had this joke in my back pocket, and then the owner of the Ravens actually did it himself.
What's my man? Biscotti? No, that's a cookie.
I think his name is like Jimmy Biscotti or Tony or something like that.
It's not that. He's a very his suits are very very mob inspired.
Yeah, he's like what you and Mike Tirico aspire to be.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
He is it.
He's like his name is like Antonio Lasagna or something. I mean, it's like it's the most stereotypical thing you could imagine.
In Baltimore, nonetheless.
In Baltimore, yeah. And he's not a Pelosi. I'm shocked.
No. What was it? Not Pelosi. It's a bar. What is it? God, I'm blanking on the father's name.
Yeah.
Is it a B? Never mind. We'll get it somewhere.
Or something like
no,
that.
something crazy. Okay, we'll get that at some point.
We'll figure it out. But yeah, there you go. All right. So anyway, and of course, then we're gonna have headlines. And we're going to have a great time reminding people that January 6th was in fact wild because it's still happening to all of us, but specifically in Florida, because of course it is.
Of course.
Why are you wearing that jacket?
Why am I jacket? Oh, because the wind blowing at this point in the drafty old house is
you should get one of these.
What are you wearing?
This is my Nobel Prize. They just give them out now. Did you hear about that?
What they just give them out? Don't do that.
Yeah, Miss Machado just gave her medal to Trump. That
lady's being extorted.
Yeah,
like all of us.
Still not going to get to be president of Venezuela.
Anyways, we'll get to that.
But anyway, I've got one too. So
Alessandro. That's what it is. D'Alessandro.
Yeah, D'Alessandro. There you go.
Yes, that is them.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one.
Yeah, that's a full on.
That makes you mayor of Baltimore by default.
By default.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right. Duck.
And you know what they were at one point in time? That family and a bunch of people? Immigrants.
Yeah.
Would you?
We're going to get to something of that, too, because there is something that is almost too ironic to say that happened this week. Yeah. So that's in the show, too. I don't know if you looked ahead.
I read the show once. I got through it once.
Oh, that's impressive. I read it once, too, when I wrote it. All right. So do you have a word?
Oh, God. Actually, I didn't think through this. So this will be right off the top of the head. Do I have a word? Yeah, I got a word.
Okay.
Got a word.
All right. I'm ready. So sit back, grab some
shots.
It's Nobel time. You're listening to the best show, the only show, Chip Chat on Beltway Radio and beyond.
Sweeps.
Welcome back to Chip Chat here on Beltway Radio and beyond. I'm your host, Chip. With me is Tez.
What's popping up?
All right, let's talk to somebody who's cooler than us.
Yes.
Floyd Bo Arthur Wheeler has more names than can fit on his driver's license and is also the founder of Arthur Wheeler Spirits Company in Upper Marlboro, Maryland. And unlike us, he's an actual expert in spirits with certificates from Wine and Spirits Educational Trust and has been given awards by the Mexican Tequila Board and all kinds of other things. We just like to drink this stuff. Yeah. Before becoming a booze maker, Bo had a long career in education and training, working for all kinds of government agencies that we would rather not contact these days. And now he joins us for whatever reason. Bo Wheeler, welcome to Chip Chat.
Bo, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for helping me. Thanks for having me. Sorry. And helping me, by the way.
You're helping us. Trust me. You're helping us. That's how the help works, right?
We're riding your coattails tonight,
exactly.
buddy. All right. So we want to start off by asking, I think, a question you probably get asked a lot, but we want to know because we want to know. Oh, see, I'm going to get fined already.
Yeah, exactly. I gotta come up with
somebody chiming in that they're watching the show. You can't get mad at that.
That's a lie.
I am not lying about that.
Okay.
I saw it. Okay.
All right.
let's start off with that we are big fans of whiskey and really all kinds of other stuff. And so what got you from, hey, I like this, to, hey, I want to be an expert in this, to, hey, I want to make this stuff?
Right. So I was the same way, right? I was a whiskey guy before I knew what a whiskey guy was. Like I was into bourbon. At college, a lot of my friends were like into like Cavassier and beer, and I was always a Makers and Ginger person. Like that was my go-to college, So I only had one because that's what Makers was kind of expensive back then when you were in college. That's what I stuck with. And then I was always into culinary stuff, like cooking and like playing around with flavors and stuff. So my dad bought me a small barrel for Christmas one year, just a little tiny one. And I started just playing around with blending whiskey in that barrel. That became like the go-to barrel because I always had stuff in my house. My friends and folks would always say, "Hey, what's in there? What does that taste like now?" And then 14 or 15, Whiskey Advocate published an article about barrel bourbon and Bardstown bourbon. And they talked about how they were purchasing barrels from other distilleries and blending their own label. And up until that point, I thought, you had to have a still in the woods or, in a barn, and you had to have your own thing. I didn't know that you could actually purchase barrels at large formats. So then down the rabbit hole, just trying to learn, like, how do you do it? Found out there was actually a distillers guild in Maryland, and distilleries had just been reauthorized in Maryland in 2014. And they formed a group that was helping people like open them. So got involved with them, Maryland Distillers Guild, went down to Moonshine University, got a couple certifications in Kentucky, which is a real thing. It's accredited university. And then interned at a distillery for a year, just working at night, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, like 6 p.m. to like midnight, just learning, how to make the stuff. And like, that was like when I really realized I could actually do it. I saw what the guy I was working for, Blue Dyer, a guy named Ryan. Shout out to Ryan because he kind of took me on his wing for a year and some changes, showed me like everything that was involved in making spirits and the business side of it as well, like taxes, reporting, packaging, shipping, all of that stuff. Yeah,
that's crazy.
What a journey! God,
yeah.
That is a.
So there's like this thing that I think a lot of people don't know, but I think it's in Indiana. I could be wrong about that, but there's like this one giant distillery that makes most of the White Lightning that people then turn into like good bourbon and good whiskey all over the country. And they sell it by the truckload, and it's just, like burn the back of your throat, clear corn liquor, and then people age it and blend it and do all kinds of things, and we end up with like Buffalo Trace, and that's they don't distill that, they buy that from Indiana or something, and then it's all like this crazy stuff because all of the things are the same, right? Like when you run them out the still, you get vodka essentially, and then it's what you do with it afterwards that matters.
Well, no, they're very much different. So, like one of the companies, there are a couple of companies like that you're referring to that make large format. With the best known, the best known is a company called MGP. They make a whole bunch of brands, and brands buy their barrels just like we do and blend them and put them in different formats, different bottles, and so on. But then, like you said, like Buffalo Trace has a couple of mash bills, but they make like 10 or 12 different brands out of those mash bills. But the mash bill for bourbon is actually to a certain extent regulated by law. It's American.
51% corn, and there's all kinds of rules.
Exactly.
Yeah. But like the feedstock that you put in the still, I think a lot of people don't know that it all comes out ethanol. Like it's all chemically identically ethanol. Yeah. And then people are like, well, tequila makes me do this. No, it doesn't. It's all the same molecule. It
can be, but in the case of tequila and some other spirits, like say Canadian whiskey or Scotch or things like that, they can add stuff in at the end.
Yes. And
that stuff can do weird things to the spirit that's not part of the spirit. So some of that stuff I think has to do with low grade additives that go in. And, it's not a knock on like any specific tequila, but it happens across the board. With bourbon specifically, you cannot do any of that. It has to just be water, grain, and barrel.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. So we see that you make you sell, I should say, vodka, rum, and especially whiskey, and based on your bio, we know that you know a lot about tequila. So, which one is your favorite to drink, and which one is your favorite to make?
So it's the same answer. That signature that's on the screen right there is my favorite to make and my favorite to drink. That's sort of my baby. That one is 95 proof. It just won the best craft whiskey in the United States at the Bartenders and Spirits Award in San Francisco. And it was one I spent a couple of years working on. And it's like our perfect sort of moniker for our business, and that is a blend of whiskeys, and then it's sort of my finishing touches. I finish it with some oak staves at the very end to like get to the specific flavor profile that I'm attempting to get to every single time, and it comes out good every single time.
So I have, this is weird, but I'm not going to say how I have jars of things, but I do. And one of the things that I know about whiskey, and we've had several people on here who are real experts, and I've asked some of them this question, so I'm going to ask it to you and see if you have see what you think. But one of the things I've learned is that a lot of the flavor, it comes from the barrel, right? And it specifically comes from the way that the whiskey sort of pushes into the pores of the wood and then gets squeezed back out of it through expansion, contraction, relative to temperature, right? That do I mostly have that right?
Absolutely.
Okay. So my theory was, if I have a jar, right, that's not going to expand or change in temperature or whatever. But if I put the bit of wood into the jar, then the whatever's in there will in fact go in and out of that wood in the same way, expanding and contracting. So I don't have to have a whole barrel. I just need a chunk of, say, charred oak, and could I achieve like a similar thing?
Absolutely. And they sell kits like that online, sort of spirals of wood or balls or cubes of wood, and you can put them right into the bottle. Like you could buy cheap whiskey, young whiskey in the store, and add those to it, and then sort of let it age and taste it. It actually ages actually faster that way because you have more contact.
That was my idea. Yeah. I thought that it would actually age faster, be almost like steeping like a sachet of herbs or something in there, the way that it, because it's pushing in and squeezing out like much more rapidly than you would get from, the surface area of the barrel is all you got, right? Whereas if you've got a chunk, right, with a lot of surface area, it's exposed more. So I don't know. So yes, this is going to work, and yes, I should try it.
I say yes, you should try it. Now I can't guarantee it's going to be good, but I say definitely try it.
All right, you heard it here first. We come up with some ChipChat whiskey.
Yeah, it sounds like you're on the roll for that, right? Already, like it sounded like you're already doing something.
Talk to me in 6 months.
All right. Well, in June. Well, in June we'll.
Yeah, when you're finally allowed. We're allowed to do the show in person again.
Is that when
I don't know.
Or the show will be banned from being on.
Oh yeah, we'll be in the climate refugee camps by then, or some other kind of camps. I don't know where they're going to send me.
Something's happening there.
They're going to separate us or something.
Yeah, exactly.
We go to different camps, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, come on now. What are you talking about? I'll be in an integrated camp.
Yeah, right. That's dangerous. Okay, so we noticed that you make an official Washington Commanders whiskey. So should we have fired Cliff? And also, do you think a shot of your whiskey would have healed Jane Daniels faster?
The answer to both questions is no from me. From me, yeah. I believe you gotta take let nature take its course on the healing. And I also thought we had a variety of stuff that went wrong this year. I don't think it was all Cliff.
Yeah. Strong agree on that. I don't think Cliff is what injured all of the team all at once.
Right.
So I don't think that's his fault. And,
someone's got to fall on the sword, man. Someone's got to fall on the sword.
Yeah, fire the athletic trainers and the whole like strength staff. That's who failed.
Oh look, there's still time for that.
Yeah, well, right, but that also doesn't get a headline and get anybody else off the hook either. You can't be like, oh yeah, Washington's fired their entire training staff. And people are going to be like, who? They have a training staff? It's like, obviously not, because look at how broken McLaurin was for the whole season.
Anyway. But that's a different show.
So what was the process for like getting an official branding agreement with them? I mean, by virtue of the fact that you're in that part of Maryland in PG, you can walk to the stadium from where you're at, or not quite, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I'm 12 minutes. I'm 12 minutes away by car, so not that far. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's nobody closer. I assume they just went to the closest outfit and said, "Hey, can you make us some whiskey?" And you're like, "Sure, no problem." And then.
No, not at all.
No, okay.
Right. I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure. I was like, I'm pretty sure it didn't go like that.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah.
I mean, the Snyder days for sure. But okay.
It was great timing. We went to they were when the new ownership came in, they started doing these small business summits for like small businesses that could partner with them. So we went to one in 2024. This now no disrespect to Sam Howell, but Sam Howell was still the quarterback. So I'm a fan from way back. So I was in to go to the summit, and then at the summit, my wife actually pulled me together with the person who coordinated it and just kind of asked, "Hey, is there any possibility that we could do any business with the Commanders?" And she informed us, she was like, "Hey, if you wanted to do it, now is the time. We lost most of our Spirits partners in the last regime, and so they're looking for new partners." And the new partnership officer was just coming over from the Chargers, a guy named Jim Rustin. And so there was this sort of timing aspect of it. And then before we got to Jim, we partnered with one of their partnership executives, Patrick Hennigan, who we connected immediately because we both are HBCU graduates. So we sort of had this instant energy, and we started talking, and he helped really guide us through the process of getting the deal. So we actually had to pay to get in the deal with the Commanders, and one of our partners really fronted us that because there's only 32 of those in the world.
Right.
And as far as I know, they're the only NFL team with a minority spirits brand as a partner in the entire league. So we jumped at it. And we have a bar in the concourse, a bar on the club level in the stadium. And then we also have the bottle that has the league is having passed some new laws and new rules. So we're taking the logos off of the label this year. But the 1932, we leaned into it. Originally, 1932 was meant to highlight sort of the golden year of the Harlem Renaissance, the last year before Prohibition, speakeasies, jazz, and all that. But because we got the Commanders deal in the DMV, we leaned in. I mean, you got to lean in heavy. And that was the year they were founded in Boston.
Yeah, in Boston.
Yeah.
George Preston Marshall is rolling over his goddamn grave right now.
I'm loving this.
He's like, what the hell they on there?
They put a what? Who made a what? Whiskey.
Harlem Renaissance.
When did they get whiskey?
What did we let them start drinking?
First of all, he's pissed off that
there's a lot of reasons.
They're not called the name that they are,
right? But
then he's also he's pissed. That's great. You know what?
This is amazing. This is full circle, right?
Anything that makes Marshall sad, or the ghost of George Preston Marshall sad.
Yeah, how great that is,
or George Allen for that matter. Jesus Christ! All right.
Yeah. All right.
So we're big fans, obviously, as you can tell from our ranting about this. Well, Tez took several years off of the NFL.
I took a break for a minute. Yeah, I took a break for a minute. Yeah.
I understand.
I just continued to suffer in misery and pain as most Washington fans have.
I'm gonna suffer with the Nationals, and you hear that? Hey, listen. So you see what's happening with the commies? What's going on, right? So Leonsis, you need to hit up Bo. Learners, y'all need to go hit up Bo. We need everywhere up there.
There you go. See?
Yeah. So you've heard it. If the football team is in front of them, then there's a problem, right?
Can we get an Orioles whiskey? What would that be like?
We had a meeting with the Orioles recently, but all these deals you have to pay into, and we're only a year and some change old, so like it's hard, trying to get the capital. But I grew up when it was just the Orioles and the Redskins, right? So like I didn't switch to the Nationals when the Nationals came.
See, there's two of us.
I got this cup the day they traded. I think it was Manny Machado. I just bought a Manny Machado jersey and went to the game at Nationals Park and they were playing each other, and then they traded him. So I literally went to Dick's Sporting Goods that day, got the jersey to wear to the game, and then he was traded and didn't play.
I'm glad you said that, Bo, because I also grew up with the same deal, right? The Orioles was our baseball team. football team, you know, bullets and caps and all of that stuff. And I stayed. I just because the Expos live here now doesn't mean I'm going to root for them.
Right.
I don't even know how to say
that's fine. I want you
to French.
First of all, and you know, I don't want to bring it to this, but living inside Washington, D.C. and not and going to Howard and knowing that was Griffin Stadium and there not being a team here for the time and having no issues with Baltimore. But that's Baltimore's team. It always has been Baltimore's team.
What else are we going to watch?
Them. And they play in a different league. So there's no issue. It's in a completely different league.
I'm not like anti-Nats. I'm just saying I didn't become like...
I root for all four because they're all in different divisions. The Ravens and the Commanders, the Nats and the Orioles. I root for them all.
We can all, it's set up perfectly. But one question I had, I guess, around the business pieces, right? Paying into the deals. I guess I know you said like you had like help learning that piece, but what does that look like? Whether it's like from marketing, like do you do all that on your own? Like, is there like, because it feels like it's like just you, or maybe there's people behind you that is like also is helping you, but it feels like it's like a one-man operation for the most part.
Yeah, I mean my biggest, best, and most like on board partner is my wife. Like she does, like she coordinated this in the email. You know what I mean? Like
there you go. Look, there you go.
Yeah, right. So and then I do have a business partners, but a lot of them are silent in that they don't they're not actually working in the business. And then we have a couple, Jamel and Del Cherise, they're like partners who show up and like. They're actually in the distillery. We have a cocktail room and tasting lounge, so they're working with us, going on tastings and those kind of things. So the marketing of it, and those kind of deals, you buy essentially rights to use the logo, right? And then what you do with it is kind of on you. Like you still have to go do most of the work, and you buy this package, and so we were able to use the logo. We did get a 30-second radio spot in the podcast. So during the game podcast, the end of the podcast, they give us a 30-second shout out as a commercial. And then we have some signage in the actual stadium. But then if you want the Commanders to show up, that's more money, like a alumni,
right?
Or if you want to, do something different, like they're not like I didn't even think to negotiate tickets into the deal because I assumed tickets would come with the deal, but they didn't.
That's a good point.
So even to go for us to advertise in the tailgate, I got to buy a tailgate ticket and walk around.
Oh, God, I mean, God.
All right. Well, look, we can offer you a deal here, Bo.
Oh God, here we go.
Okay, if you wanna have a ChipChat branded spirit. Which we will be. I don't like rum very much, but we'll be flexible on all the others. We can make a deal with you for the logo and rights, and we'll even shout you out on the show every week for like, I don't know, a cool 50,000.
Full like, 50,000?
Yeah, just 50 grand, and you're in. That's like we'll give you a deal because we like you. You're a nice guy.
I was gonna say a deal. I was like, we do that for free.
Don't tell him.
So I gotta give you whiskey and pay 50,000.
No, we'll buy the whiskey from you. We just need the 50 grand.
The show started 5 minutes late. Yeah, what the hell is going on?
You're ruining it.
Give us another year under our belt to sort of get our weight up. Then we'll come back we'll see if we can make the 50 grand work.
We want to do that. We want to be partners. We will help you.
I'll record a free spot anytime.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That'll be the second thing Tez has done for this show in 6 years.
Well, sometimes I'm inspired, Sometimes I get inspired to do.
But I do think that the logo thing is like a big deal, right? A lot of people buy whiskey or any kind of booze because you can't really taste it right beforehand. So people are like, oh, they look for a cool bottle. Your bottle design is kind of unique, but it's still classic. How did you come up with that bottle design?
Yeah, so it was a stock bottle that was flat, and I actually got it because it kind of looks like a book. So if you turn it to the side, you can kind of, and I'm old enough to remember the Dewey Decimal System. So you can take the batch numbers, and you get a brief description, and then on the other side is tasting notes. So it fits flat on the shelf to take up less space, but also fits in a rail for a bartender. So that's like one challenge with like fancy bottles is they're hard to fit on the for a bartender to handle sometimes.
I never really thought that it's
smart.
Really
so it's because it went out of stock, we had to get them made anyway. So we went ahead and got them made, and that's when we got like the logo and things embossed in the in the bottle. And then I read somewhere in research that, you know, people will pay more for a bottle if the label's on the lower third of the bottle. And so then I started to look at like champagne, and I was like, okay, well, I guess that's a thing.
Yeah, that is as you say that now, and as I'm thinking of different bottles, you do see certain ones where the label is like that.
Yeah, because it looks a little more authentic, a little more handmade, a little more, you know.
Yeah,
like
and you can see more of the liquid in there, which is
right.
you know, enticing for the eye. So I mean, a lot of stuff went into it, and then we worked for probably a year and some change with like 2 different graphic design teams to actually pin down what the label was going to look like. So a lot of work went into figuring those things out, figuring the cap, the shrink sleeves, and all that stuff.
Well, I think it came out pretty good. So we want to shift gears a little bit. We want to talk about the business side of some of this, not just about the product and, you know, football. So part of why you're here, right, is that we read the article in Black Enterprise about you and some of the other folks, and friend of the show ADST hooked us up, got us your contact. So shout out to him. And go get his record Animal and vote for him in the whammies.
Absolutely.
Do all of that at once. So, you know, we've talked to several spirits experts on this show, people who make, people who work for distributors, or people who are experts, you know, who judge these things and these contests. And like, I don't know how they can learn this much about a thing. Like, I mean, what Jack and what D and all of them know is like, this is nuts. Okay.
Right.
But all of those folks that we've talked to have happened to be Black. And so do you find that this space, specifically whiskey, I don't mean all of spirits, because worldwide, of course, it's different, but is a space that's very welcoming to diverse backgrounds, or has it been a bit of a challenge to get the visibility, you know, that you deserve and getting the access that you deserve?
So I'll tell you, if you are, and I don't mean this to sound like negative, but if you're diverse and you want to be an influence and a taster and talk about it all day long, companies will support you up and down forever to do that because you're promoting their product. The other side of it, getting open, getting people to partner with you, getting people to invest with you, that's a whole different ball game than being sort of on the influencer tasting expert side. So I got into the business because at its very best, like bourbon culture is inclusive and welcoming. Like just around a bottle at a table, we can all get to know each other. It usually doesn't matter where you're from or anything, right? I find the same thing in the cigar community to a certain extent as well. And so I wanted to create spirits in every category that were good enough for people to gather around, so that people would say, hey, I got this bottle of rum. It's unique in this way, and everybody should taste it. Even though I'm not a rum guy or a vodka guy or whatever, that was the whole gist of it. But once you get to the business side of it, it is a very unforgiving place to be in business. And one of the other reasons why I decided I was going to get into it is what the time that I was going to do it, 2016, Black folks represented 50% of the market and 0.1% of any wealth created by it, which was mostly exactly. So like there was so much space there. And then Uncle Nears came out the next year, but they put
reading ahead. Don't read too far ahead in the show.
Yeah, they put a tiny drop in the pond and said, well, it was great because I could look and say, oh, somebody like me is doing this. So it kind of gave me an extra boost to keep going. But yeah, and it's a business where you're going to invest between $500 to $1 million in standing it up before you know if the product is good.
Right, because it takes forever to age and all that stuff.
All to age, to bottle, to label, to get licenses. It took us 4 years to get licenses, permits, and construction done to where we could sell a bottle. So, I mean, that's where we started from, in that hole. And a lot of us don't have that kind of resource and access to capital to make it there. We certainly did. We bootstrapped it together piece by every time we thought it was going to be over, we just found some way to get it to extend it another 3 to 6 months. And it just kept going that kind of way.
Do you think that it was a bigger challenge to get outside funding, or do you think it is a bigger challenge for people to get outside funding for these ventures who do come from diverse backgrounds? And I don't just mean, you know, Black folks, but I mean in general, if you're not a cis white man, you know, like what's your chance at getting access to capital, even if you've got the most brilliant idea in spirits?
I think it's very slim, to be honest. I think there are groups out there that are trying to sort of right the ship, like Pronghorn, that are investing in minority-owned brands, or at least minority-owned represented brands, and so that shift is happening. But there's still sort of one group with sort of one vision of the world, and that's when we have our tours at the distillery. I try to tell people that I don't want you to walk away from here and feel like we made it because of Uncle Nearest. Uncle Nearest is one story, one person, one brand. There's so much else out there that is contributing to this industry that are from people of color, are from women, are from people from different backgrounds. And it's just, I think it's worthwhile to sort of find those stories and find those people. And some of them, have access to, just money that they can keep pulling from. But I think for the most part, it's extremely hard and extremely rare that someone has our exact story of how we get open. Just with savings accounts and 401ks is usually not enough to make it happen. And we somehow made it happen. And then because of that, also, we offer up our space in the front of our house in our cocktail lounge to entrepreneurs. They can pop up whenever they want to sell, whatever, as long as it's within the confines of the law. They can sell, in our tasting room, because we know how hard it is just to find that space. So just, I'm not to belabor this at all, but
please.
It took us almost 2 years to even get in a lease, because in the area we wanted to get in, you could only be industrial, and one property management group owned and managed all the property. So we got
it's a fucking monopoly.
It's a monopoly.
That's insane.
For almost $1 million to buy a facility based on our credit. We put up our own houses as leverage, and they wouldn't even sell to us because you're a quote unquote new business. I was like, but we're pre-approved. What difference does it make to you if we buy it? They still wouldn't sell to us because they had the right to do that. So we actually had to find a lady, Lori Bongiovanni. Actually, shout out to her. She was in business doing in a male-dominated industry, granite countertops, and she was getting out of that business. And she owned an industrial building, and she was the only one who would rent to us. And she did it because she identified with the same struggle that we were going through. So it really took someone else like us to help us.
Well, that's even the point when you're talking about, right, where do you get capital from? When you look at whether it's coming from ventures or anything, if you look at the people who are in those rooms, right, they don't look like us. And what they do is they go and invest in everybody who looks like them. And it's almost like you almost need to have the same thing that's happening, right? Or hopefully starting to happen with the bourbon industry, where we're able to penetrate those areas, which is obviously easier said than done, so that when you look and say, oh, that business is something that I can connect with, when you have more Black folks, more people of color inside areas of capital. But damn, that's a hell of a story. Jesus Christ.
I think I want to ask, this is maybe I'm stretching a little bit here, but the ethos of whiskey in general, if you think about its history in both in Ireland or in Appalachia or it is very working class, isn't it?
Yes.
And it often is being done by people who have another job, right? Full-time job. They're doing it, on the side, and they're pouring their heart and soul into it. It is a working class sort of thing.
Yeah.
Not like champagne, or not like, this highfalutin stuff, but like that whiskey itself is a working class product. It's a working class drink. It's what the working man drinks when he gets home. It's all of those things. Do you think that the struggle in producing or getting the funding or getting the, does that inform the end product in a way that makes it maybe better?
You make such a great point in that this whiskey was started by folks who were trying to get to stretch the profit from their crops that they couldn't, that would go bad.
Got extra corn. What are you going to do?
Wheat would go bad. Eventually, the way to protect it, distill it, and then you could sell it,
right.
And keep selling it and keep making money from it.
You could store it for a long time.
Exactly. It was never like a vineyard where you had, hundreds of acres and you were, doing vintages and sitting it down for, however long. It was really a farmer's market, for lack of a better word,
yeah.
And it was working class people. And I think to a certain extent, yes, especially like from our perspective, like our highest price bottle is $99 because, and that's like our cash strength, which is not, there's no water added, it's straight out the barrel. But it's because one of the things that irritated me in the market was we have moved to this weird elitist bourbon place where I'm paying $200 a bottle for a single barrel that no one has ever tasted, right? And so I'm paying $200 a bottle, and I don't know if it's good or not. And a lot of times it's not. And then I'm pissed off because I've drank this much, and now I'm making cocktails with a $200 bottle, because I don't want to drink it neat or straight anymore. And so and people come to me all the time like, oh, do you do barrel picks? Do you do single barrels? And first of all, single barrel doesn't really mean anything. It's like a jargon term. But if you're getting it from one barrel, no, I don't do that, because we blend everything, because I'm looking to make a flavor profile that is good, at least from my palate, and that consistent approach.
Right, blending gives you consistency, doesn't
it? Exactly. Love or hate Jack Daniels, they make the same 5 million bottles of bourbon every single time. Every single time, it never tastes different. You know what I mean? So consistency is where the craft comes in. You move away from the art of making whiskey and bourbon to the craft of, can you make the same consistent flavor profile over and over?
Which is really hard to do, because the barrels all age differently and they all have different profiles. So you have to like find a way to offset. Oh, this is a little too oaky, this is a little too sour, whatever. And you have to find a way to offset it without really adding anything and without even really damage. You just got to do it out of the pieces that you got.
Absolutely.
It doesn't get more working class than that.
Absolutely. If you come to the distillery, sometimes I do too many, but I'm tasting barrels as they come through the door, and then I'm kind of partitioning them off to exactly your point, to the flavor profiles that I'm getting from them, and then we blend them together a little bit, and then I take 5 gallon samples from like exemplar barrels that I'm trying to like make sure I can recreate, and I set them aside just so we can go back to them over the months and years and say, okay, that's the flavor I was trying to get to, because it changes.
Right.
Yeah.
That's that. All right. Well, then that helps me. So now I have, this is maybe another indelicate question, but do you have a comment, since you brought up Uncle Nearest, on Fawn Weaver and all of the troubles that they're kind of going through right now?
Not necessarily. I mean, I will always respect Fawn and Uncle Nearest for what they did in the industry. Like, I mean, they completely changed the game, for representation and for being in a place where I could see someone like myself who was in the business. So, I think the challenges that they're going through may have been avoidable challenges. I'll say that, and I really and truly hope that they recover, and that they bring back, that they come back to market even stronger, having gone through the challenges. I know I've seen online like different things pop up with experiences and things like that, but I think all that stuff always happens when people start to see a chink in the armor, and they kind of want to, they see a chink in the armor and they want to attack. I'm not going to do that. I just respect, everything that they've done, everything that they built. And I hope they right the ship and get it back together.
Me too, because it's delicious stuff. And I would like to be able to buy more of it and enjoy it.
Yeah.
Okay. We want to ask you another question. This one's a little bit different. We want to see, are you ready to play a game that we call Florida or Nah?
Okay.
No,
yes.
Brian, where's the sound effect? Brian. Okay.
It's all right. It'll just come in while you're reading the story, which I read ahead, so I can't play ahead.
Florida or not?
There you go. So I think I read that you're a Pratt guy.
Right? Well, I went to Pratt Institute for a couple of sessions. Yeah, back in the day.
Okay, so that's a fellow Pratt alumni, substantial on that sound effect. So there's a little you and Stan are now tied together in more ways than you could imagine.
Awesome.
All right, so the way this game works is we're going to read you a news story that may or may not have happened in Florida, and we're going to remove the locational details in the story, and you have to tell us whether this did in fact happen in Florida or not in Florida.
I already love this game.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Ready?
Yes.
Okay. A deputy has captured a runaway emu and safely returned the large flightless bird to its home. County deputy responded last Friday to a rural area west of the town that this happened in, following reports of the bird's escape, the sheriff's office said on a Facebook post. The deputy attempted to secure the emu, but the bird kicked several times using its large talons and fled, authorities said. After a short chase, the deputies cornered the emu, or I guess he's just one deputy, cornered the emu by himself. And then he secured it with a makeshift lasso and handcuffed its legs together so it couldn't kick him anymore. The emu was returned to its owners unharmed. No charges were filed. And of course, emus are from Australia, and they're like 6 feet tall, and they are delicious. Okay, so did this happen in Florida or not in Florida?
I'm going to say not in Florida.
Okay, show your work.
It's too simple for me. Like there's not enough going on. There's one deputy. He's chasing the emu. Now he got a little Florida at the end where he handcuffed the legs together. I started to turn, but I'm going to say not Florida.
All right, the final answer.
Final answer.
Okay, it was in Florida. It was in St. Augustine, in St. Johns County. So yeah, you did not win the prize, which doesn't exist anyway. So that's fine. But yeah, I liked this story because it didn't have any of the things. Like sometimes when we pick these stories, we're looking for things to like throw people off, right? There's the obvious Florida things, meth, alligators, what's that guy with the boots and the go-go boots? He thinks DeSantis. No, but it doesn't have any of those things in it. So I was like, okay, this is going to be a good sleeper one.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
and
sorry.
Only one deputy. Only one deputy.
Yeah. And it didn't involve them shooting the emu, which is how you know the emu's Australian and not the ostrich, which is of course from Africa. They would have shot. Never mind.
They also the only thing that does kind of give it police posting on Facebook feels very Florida. That's the one that, the Facebook update on that. But I guess that would be the form of communication for people.
That's the blotter these days, man. They don't have a newspaper anymore. They killed all.
I thought this was a Liberty Mutual commercial, to be honest.
Right? Yeah, it was. Remember where he's running on the field?
It feels like a Liberty Mutual commercial. Yeah. Exactly.
For the record, I don't think emus need pants. I do think that was I think that commercial may have gone a little too far. All right. So Bo, where can people get in touch? Where can people get the products? Where can they visit you? All of that good stuff.
Absolutely. So www.awsco.co, which is the short version, or just arthurwheeler.com. That will take you to our online store. We ship to 45 states right now, so you can buy everything, and our full lineup is available on the website. We're in about 137 locations in the DC, Maryland. We just got into Virginia, into 100 stores in Virginia, but we don't know
the ABC stores. Yes,
thank you.
That's good.
So you can, but they just picked up the 1932, so only this bottle in Virginia stores.
That's the one I want. So I know what my weekend's gonna be.
On our website, you can also go and find all the places that we're located there. And then our distillery and our tasting room is located in Upper Marlboro, Maryland. So about 20 minutes either from DC or Annapolis. And we have a full scratch cocktail bar, meaning we don't buy liqueurs, we don't buy cutters or anything like that. We make everything in-house. So you'll see us in there, serve every now and then, cooking up ginger syrup or hibiscus tea or something like that to go into our cocktails. And we have a tour on Saturdays at 2:00, and we're open Wednesday through Sunday. So Wednesday through Friday, 4 to 9. Saturday we open at 12, and Sunday we open at 12.
Look at that. It sounds like a great way to spend a weekend. Yeah, field trip. That's right. Can we do a show? Can we do a show from the tasting room?
Absolutely. And we have a couple of different areas you can do a show from. So you can do 3 different shows.
Right. There we go. Well, I mean, we barely do this once. I don't know.
Right. Brian, pack up the gear.
Exactly.
And we'll be there. All right. Yeah, no, we'll take you up on that. We're gonna definitely we'll get in touch and try to schedule that. Maybe when it's not quite so cold out, but when we'll
I'm gonna go find this in the next time I'm in the Commie Stadium. I'm gonna go find it.
Yeah. We're 110 on the concourse and 303 on the club level, and we also have heat, so you don't have to wait till it gets warm.
No, I know, but I don't. I don't want to have to go outside.
He's like, we ain't down that bad.
It's not in a bar.
Me. It's where I'm at right now. I don't have.
You're in a jacket. I don't want you.
Exactly.
Tez is from like warm places.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly. It is warm. It's. Most people be like, it is warm in here. It's just not warm enough for me.
He's Jamaican, like that's they don't do cold. I know that.
This is terrible outside.
Yeah. It's 85 where he is right now, Bo. He's just wearing that jacket.
If I go show you my thermostat right now, I will take a picture for you and put it.
Don't tell an HVAC professional who also happens to be a dad that you are wasting heat.
Not wasting
wearing
heat.
A jacket.
The heat is going to drafty where I'm at. And
you're
drafty. I would straight up melt if it was 85 degrees.
Yeah, you're making me twitch, dude.
This is my father. This is from my Cuban father who would have it at 90 when I was a child. It would be like at 90 on radiators, gas radiators.
Wow.
And that was insane. So maybe I'm just as a trauma. Maybe this is just a trauma that I'm reliving.
Trauma experience that you're doing. Oh my God.
Okay.
All right. So, Bo, your choices are you can go because it's a school night, or you can hang out with us while we say a bunch of crazy stuff about the news. It's up to you. And
I'll hang out for sure.
Okay.
Look, there you go. I usually give people the out. Usually give people the out. I'm the one to be like, hey, look, man. Let's do it. Let's do it.
So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to do the headlines. And in the meantime, Bo, I'm going to send you the show so you can read some of these headlines too and possibly ruin your whole career. It'll be great.
Awesome.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back. You're listening to Chip Chat on Beltway Radio and beyond.
Sweeps.
back to Chip Chat here on Beltway Radio. Maybe. I don't know. That sounded like the end of the song. Was it? Yes. Hi. Welcome back to Chip Chat. I'm Chip. Who are you, Tez? Wait, no, that's the intro. Tez is here too.
Yes.
All right. We're all messed up. It's because of all of Bo's great whiskey that I don't have any of yet, but I want. It's going to be great.
Drunk off sadness.
We're going to get it to you.
Bo Wheeler's here. Say hi, Bo.
Hello.
You're supposed to say hi, Bo.
Hi, Bo.
There you go. All right. So now
Christ.
This is going to go great.
Okay,
all right. So now we've come to the part of the show where we read the headlines. So this is what the news, that our crack writers have come up with. So, and we can just go around. Tez, do you want the first one? And then we can go like Tez and then Bo and then me, or however, what order you want to go. You want to go?
That works.
All right, we'll go Tez, Chip, Bo. There we go. All right, Tez, first one's you.
Oh, this is so great. Yes, J.D. Vance met with authorities from Denmark, but left the meeting very disappointed when he learned that the famous furniture maker IKEA is actually from Sweden.
Yes. The Senate voted down a measure that would have forced Trump to get their approval before another war, which is, what the Constitution requires. 3 Republicans, including Rand Paul, voted for the measure, but all the other Republicans voted against it because they also hate Rand Paul. All right, go ahead, Bo.
Okay. One Senate Republican, Josh Hawley of Missouri, voted against giving himself any real power after Trump reminded Hawley that Josh had run away like a little bitch on January 6th.
Yes.
That did happen.
That's true.
That is true. I saw the video. Oh, this is great here.
Yeah.
Grok got in trouble again this week. I wonder what for. For helping pedophiles generate images of underage people without clothing. Elon announced he has fixed the problem by making that feature only available to paying members.
And that's true. We didn't write that one. That's a thing that is real and happened. Because, yeah, way to go, Elon. The DOJ is still not releasing millions of files related to Jeffrey Epstein. Pam Bondi, Attorney General, said that's just because the files hadn't aged enough yet.
Oh, God. Just Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
ICE agents in Minnesota slipped and fell on the ice, marking the first ice-on-ice attack of the season. I saw a montage of that.
Yeah.
It's
pretty good. Set it to the Benny Hill music, and it's even better.
All right, speaking of ice, ice on ice sounds like the kind of show you take someone to if you hate them.
Yeah.
Or want them dead.
Yeah. Oh. ICE is currently so unpopular, Disney had to change the name of their popular franchise to Sisters Who Love Each Other in Warmer Weather.
People hate ICE so much, Olaf had to be written out of the movies.
Yes.
that one's funny.
That's a good one.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Oh, let me play that. That one actually got me. I didn't get. I must have skipped that one. I was reading through these. Oh God, a polar vortex is heading for the United States, but even it stopped because it didn't want to be associated with ice. Oh God.
Oh man, Kristi Noem reportedly has been forced to stay in Coast Guard housing at Bolling Air Force Base. So if you smell something awful around that part of the town, it's Kristi Noem. It's a very DC joke.
Yes, had to drive past there every day in the summer for years. It wasn't great.
No.
Monday is MLK Day, or as we've taken the calling around here, the last MLK Day.
Yes.
That's a Tubi movie.
That's rough.
That's the last MLK Day.
The last MLK Day.
It's a Tubi movie? Is that what you said?
Oh yeah. Starring Will Smith.
Jesus.
And Chris Rock.
I think the mighty have fallen. Is it on me? It's on me, right?
Yes.
Trump and his team plan to commemorate the great civil rights leader by laying a wreath at the grave of James Earl Ray. God,
yes. I'm glad you got to read that.
Yikes.
I didn't want to read that one.
Yikes.
That's a yikes.
Yeah.
Whoever wrote this, man.
Yo.
Ugh, that's rough. All right, in local news, Penguin McDuffie officially announced that he's running for mayor, kicking off a campaign that has been going on now for about 10 years.
This has been going on for 10 years. That's just, God, that's my fault, and I didn't even mean for that to happen like that. I don't even mean for that to happen. That nickname. Sorry, McDuffie. I'll take the blame for that one.
No, it's a great name. You should run on it.
Yeah.
Penguin McDuffie.
The announcement of Penguin McDuffie entering the race was criticized by some Washingtonians, but hailed by all the dog park contractors in the district.
Fenty 2.0, baby. All right, you get the last one, Tez.
And
now be careful. Pay attention to the folded up things there.
Okay. Nothing's bolded on my document.
Or you know what I mean, capitalized.
All right. And in sports, the Chicago Bears put up 25 points in the fourth quarter to send Green Bay packing and setting them up for a potentially swift victory over LA, which could make you puka if you're not careful.
There you go.
Jesus Christ.
Like maximum dad joke in one sentence.
Just
very proud of ourselves for that one. Okay, those are the headlines. What do you think of the headlines there, folks?
Just for one more time. One more time. People hate ICE so much. Olaf had to be written out of the movie. That is the highlight of that one. That actually might be the highlight of those over like the last 6 months. And there's been really good. There's been some good ones, but that one was really funny.
I'll let our writers know that you like that one in particular and tell them to make more of those. Okay, so now we've come to the part of the show that's called The Rundown. This is where we tell you about some stuff that's going on in the news. If we were real news guys, it would sound a little something like this.
Bruh.
No.
From Beltway Radio and beyond in Washington, D.C., I'm Emmy-nominated TV newsman and just bona fide sexual beast, J. Scott Smith. And this is the part of the show where I tell some stuff about well, maybe not me, but somebody else is going to tell some stuff about what's happening in the news. So, what's going on in the news, fellas?
Thanks, Jay. Make sure you catch him on Channel 4 in Detroit. He's killing it up there. All right. So this one's funny-ish. It's not even like the most ridiculous thing that just okay. You know how, like, if you look on Wikipedia and you see, like, you know, you punch in like a famous person and it shows like right under them, like, you know, what they're why you might know who they are, and it says like, you know, shortstop for the, you know, whatever, and it says that, right? So somebody made a meme or a doctored up image of Trump, and right under it said acting president of Venezuela, which is insane. And then, because of course he did, he retweets this all over the fucking place and like, haha, look at this. And like, that was before he extorted Machado for her medal and like made her come to, she was here today, made her come here and then was like, give me your medal. And she was like, okay. And she goes, can I go be president of Venezuela now? And he goes, psych. And then he's like, ICE, take her away. Like, what? Made himself acting president of Venezuela. It's so juvenile, man. It's so like, I don't even know. We're running out of words, but like this is just getting worse. If you can even say that, I don't know. Is it worse?
Which part? What do we like? Pick what part that you want to talk about. It's what
fire hose of stupid. It's too much stupid. I can't process this much stupid.
I mean, it's clear. I mean, with like the through line for every story tonight will be there's limited time left, right? There are 10 months before. And again, I know there's a lot of we'll go back and forth.
Guess what he said today?
I know what he said.
Guess what he said today?
What he said. But
what did he say, Tez?
No, you go ahead and tell him what he said.
He said we're not going to have an election.
Yeah,
he says I'm not going to do well in the election, so we shouldn't have an election. And who on this show has been saying that this is gonna happen?
The elections are run by the states. They're gonna happen no matter what. The elections will happen. Now, them being seated afterwards, that's a different story. And you know what? We'll march down Constitution when that time comes. But yeah,
that's been working out really well so far.
Yeah, exactly. It's a big party. Celebration for all the Tories.
Cousin Enrique. Yeah. It's not. No.
Yeah.
I don't know. Are there enough of us?
Yeah. Yes.
The Capitol Police didn't shoot at them for one reason, but they're going to shoot at the other people for the other reason.
No, I mean, it's clear that everyone in the administration knows what time it is. And yeah, the end question will be when this flips in the midterms, like what happens when, they go ahead and Congress actually starts to be Congress again, right? And they hold the executive branch accountable. What will they answer the subpoenas? Probably not.
No, they'll just defy it, and they'll be like, "You and
so it's like, and we'll keep eroding away at and maybe again there'll be something at the end of this that we can salvage, or maybe it's a sandcastle and you just kick the shit over with, and maybe we'll build a new one. But yeah,
it worked on the East Wing.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Do you think that future Speaker Jeffries, will eventually lose patience once they stop, they stonewall every subpoena and he just goes full Brooklyn on them, or what do you think is going to happen there?
I mean, I don't. Even when it flips, is the Congress going to be strong enough to? I don't know. They don't have a mechanism that's going to force anybody to come in. And once you start, once you erode all these formalities and all this stuff is gentleman handshakes shit, it can be gone forever. And hopefully that's not the case. I know you think that's the case, but yeah, it's once.
It's going to be. I just don't think it's so. We're in such an unknown place. Like the earlier story, that the Senate would just abdicate its authority to justify, what is constitutionally supposed to justify. I just think this is such a weird, just unexpected place for us to be in. I think to a certain extent, even the people who do this for a living, like Jeffries and the folks on the Hill, are still trying to figure out what what and what are we going to do? Because you're just in unprecedented territory. It's going to be just completely fascinating to see how it all unfolds. And fascinating might not be the best word.
Yeah, I was going to say fascinating is not the word. Terrifying, maybe.
It is fascinating. But it is fascinating. It's not fascinating because we're living in it, and this is real people's lives. It's not but it is fascinating because, like I say all the time, these are white people rules for white people at the start of all of this, right? And the base level of that shit, the white people are like, nah, we're not doing these rules that other old white people made a long time ago. Now, granted, Black folk and women and other folks have now forced the law to change over time. And then what happened? They said too much democracy is clearly what it is.
The idea that they're using the 14th Amendment to undo civil rights
is crazy.
Is the thing that is so completely on its head. And to Bo's point, that early on, the administration basically took advantage of the fact that they were doing so much crazy shit so fast that nobody knew how to react to it. And they just did all the things. Yesterday, 2 days ago, whatever, all the funding for SAMHSA stopped. $2 billion in funding for addiction treatment and mental health was just gone. And then people woke up and they were like, hey, where's all this money? And they called their congressman and they were like, hey, did you cut off this money? And they're like, no, we definitely. And both parties called up back to the White House and they were like, hey man, where's SAMHSA? And they're like, SAMHSA. Oh shit, we'll get back to you on that. And then 15 minutes later, the money was back.
Yes.
Was that an accident? Was that Doge? Was that leftover? Was Big Balls still sitting there typing away on his thing? What is happening?
But even with that, and I think that's why you still can't just give up. If that didn't happen, that money would have been gone, right? If that call didn't go in. Yeah. And I think this is this This is why the Congress and doesn't seem to be very effective. And even before this, they haven't been effective for a while. But you just can't. I think I get why folks are ready to just give up on it all, right? For a variety of reasons, right? But I think that could even look scarier on the other side of that, where it's like no one believes in any. It's a nation, y'all. We got to kind of have some type of rules and operations on how, like, again, go back to basketball. If people are saying, yo, all right, if I shoot on my own basket, that's a point for me. Those aren't the rules, right? And if we're not following, like, we can't play the game. And I get a lot of people like, we don't want to play this game any longer. But it's like, all right, cool. We'll
I'm not saying that we don't want to, but like, to go with your sports analogy, imagine a scenario where, like, I don't know. Here's somebody I can imagine doing this, right? Let me just, like, Harry Maguire just picks up the ball and just walks down the field.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm going to throw this in the goal. And everybody stands in front of him and does the thing in soccer where they motion and they go, ref. And the ref is like blowing his whistle and he's showing cards. And Harry Maguire is not giving a shit. And he's just walking towards the goal. And then he just throws the ball in the net and he goes, point.
But
what happens?
But then imagine if imagine you appeal to whatever the grand ref, right? And the grand ref says, no, it was a goal.
That was a goal.
It was a goal. And you're like, wait, hold up. There's a document. There's rules. There are rules written.
We're about to hit that, though, right? Because the Insurrection Act now is on the table, and that's what they're talking about. And you can see Sam and Alito, neighbor Clarence, are definitely already making the argument that our branch doesn't get to say what the president deems to be an insurrection, so therefore we don't get into this, right? So then you got to ask your question whether refuses to do anything Roberts wants to do anything about this, or whether Beer Can Brett or Neil and ACB got to be the ones to do it. What are we talking about here? And if they say, nah, we can't be the ones involved, where does that stop? Will you then believe me? When am I right here? We're already been to the part where I'm right. You don't believe me.
No, I mean, what are you? But I'm not gonna go back and forth. What
the you and what army question is where we are. He's figured that out.
The army piece of this at one point might be the army, and it might be that, and that might be what it is at the end of this. So,
all right, so that's when I'm right.
Can I comfort you with this though? Simple sabotage, field manual, methods to quietly undermine hostile governments, military forces, and industrial operations.
Oh my God. Yes, that made me laugh. All right. The White House has defended Trump's behavior after he flipped off somebody in Detroit.
Oh yeah,
That's crazy.
At a Ford plant. Now look,
unhinged. I mean,
let me take up for my my good friends from Detroit, and as a Michigan guy and all of this, and Jay's probably listening, and that's a risky thing.
That caption is great.
Yeah, inaudible pedophile protector.
That caption is great.
We didn't quite hear what he said, but we know what he said.
We know what he said. I just watch his hand. He's like, you're an asshole. Fuck you. Yeah, that's what he said. And he flipped him off. You know why he did that? Because he has a Secret Service. You realize you're in Detroit and you're like out here picking a fight in a plant with a UAW member. You may as well be dead. I mean, you're gonna end up under a 50-yard line somewhere. What are you doing, guy? That's a bad move.
It is
bad move.
You know, the one thing I will say about that, and if you want to look at and people were like, oh, this is too much optimism. That might be the beauty of this country. That alone itself. And granted, in 10 months from now, maybe you can't do that and they come and snatch you up, and they're snatching people up for a lot less. But yeah, the fact that you could go ahead and give the fucking president fucking middle finger, and now granted, the private sector, because as I understand it, Ford let this individual go.
There's more details about it.
Yeah.
First of all, wordsmith that he is, Steve Chung had something to say about it. He said, quote, a lunatic was wildly screaming expletives in a complete fit of rage, and the president gave an appropriate and unambiguous response. What a fucking tool. All right.
He's been one. His quotes have been insane.
Yeah, Steve Chung is incredible.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, he was suspended, right? But the UAW is involved. They're going to defend him, and then a GoFundMe page popped up. Raised $700,000. It's probably more from 27,000 donors.
Wow,
that's
so awesome. Bo, if you want to fund your next project, what you got to do is flip off Trump, get suspended, and then everybody will be like coming up with some cash.
Yeah, my company is heavily regulated by the time that all that goes out the window immediately. Like this person, this GoFundMe is going to get audited by the IRS.
100%.
Oh yeah.
I don't know how though. They fired all those guys. There's nobody there to do the audits.
No, the retribution committee is still there. They're still
there. So a guy, the guy who did it, right? He talked to the Post and he said he had no regrets about what he did, which is good. He looks like a winner. He looks like the kind of guy I'd share a bottle with.
Oh, that's the guy.
Yeah, that's the guy. TJ,
he's
man.
clearly going to end up running for Congress.
Yeah, well, we're going to get. Don't read ahead. That's in the show.
That's a different person.
That's the other way. But I mean, to your point, yes, it's good that we live in a country where you can express that if you want to. And
that's
and
crazy,
all of that.
Right? I mean, because there are places like, I mean, I think that as Americans, you do that somewhere else, they might snatch your ass up.
You can't even do that in places that we think you could do that. You can't do that in England. Like you can't. Yeah. There isn't free speech in England.
Right. Exactly.
Okay, so like, you know, maybe you could get away with it in Canada, but then like in Canada, you'd be like, hey, fuck you, buddy. And then the prime minister would be like, oh, fuck you too, buddy. And then they're like, all right, let's go have a blue. And then they're all fine. And anyway,
everybody's a buddy.
They're sorry, eh? So this is the one that we're gonna tell this story briefly, and then I hope Brian has the video to go to the break with, because I don't think I can describe this well enough to do it justice. And I do want to say that like every late night comedian has already taken their shot at this, the same joke. They all write itself. I'm not going to bother trying to rehash all of that.
I have clipped this video, like, because obviously you can't share these things anymore because it's in bad taste because all the bad shit is going on. But in group chats, some of the Trump shit that's been said, that this one is up there with the get the son of a bitch off the field right now. He's fired from me. The turnaround, it's insane. I was watching this on the news and I was like, wait, what's he doing?
Yeah, right. So there's a not small number of people who saw this thing happen live.
Yeah, it was crazy.
And they may have been utterly perplexed by what they're going to see. So
I wouldn't be investing in no damn country, but I'd be like, this guy's, I can't. Those business people look confused.
Let's set this up. In the White House, okay? This is the White House. In the White House, there were gathered the executives of many oil companies, a lot of oil companies. Trump seemed surprised by how many oil companies and how many executives there were, which is again not. Oh my God. So he's about to address all of them, and he sort of starts, and he's like, wow, there's a lot of people here. And then in the middle of cameras are rolling, right? This is live on national television. The whole world is tuned in if they want to be. He just like stops and gets up to wander over to the window, to the glass doors, to point at a thing that isn't there and wistfully discuss how great it is or is gonna be. And then he just comes right back and sits down and then continues on with some other ramble that's not related to the meeting of like 150 people in that room.
Can I just say before you roll it that I was watching this live, but we canceled cable. So I'm watching it on like the Samsung TV thing, which you can't rewind. So when it happened, I was like, wait, what I just thought I missed something completely. And it wasn't until later that evening when people started talking about it that I could finally understand, okay, Everybody saw that. It wasn't just a glitch. I thought we just skipped ahead in the broadcast.
We are clearly in a glitch in something. It is a glitch. I don't know what the glitch is.
I mean, glitch. Okay, another kinder way maybe to put this is that an old man got a little confused while he was addressing a bunch of people, and he needed
fuck that. We're not being kind. We're not being kind to these old men. Fuck that, man. We was mean as shit to the last old man. We're gonna be mean as shit to this old man too. Fuck that.
Let me also then say that's not in this clip, but then a little later, Lil Marco hands him a note to get him back on track, and it says, "Go back to Chevron." And instead of looking at the note and discreetly pivoting, he just reads the note out loud, and he goes, "It says go back to Chevron. Chevron, did you have a question?" And they go, "Sorry, was that for us? Do we? No, we're good." And then he turns back to Lil Marco. He goes, "No, they're fine. What? I want to go back to the ballroom."
Producing radio, you say something into his ear and he just says it out loud. All right, we're moving on to the next segment. You're like, wait, hold on. Why'd you just say that shit on the radio?
Why did you say that shit on the radio? Yeah,
exactly. You're like, hold on.
It's the Ron Burgundy sort of thing where just read whatever you hand him.
Nightmare. This is great. This is, again, we're laughing at this. This is scary. This is insane.
This guy's got his finger on the button, just to be very clear.
He talks about that often.
Fortunately, that button just summons Diet Cokes. So,
yes, that button, yeah.
Okay. Brian, we're going to take a break, and you're going to play us that clip, I hope. And when we come back, we're going to do the third half of the show where Tez is going to talk about stuff.
Yay.
All right. You're listening to Chip Chat on Beltway Radio and beyond.
Unusual time to look.
Oh my God. No. Oh, he's got it queued up and everything. Brian, where's the audio? Can't hear it.
What a view. This is the door to the game. What did you have? Unusual time to look, but I figure we might as well. But you'll see a very big foundation that's moving. We're ahead of schedule in the ballroom and under budget. It's going to be, I don't think there'll be anything like it in the world, actually. I think it'll be the best. We went from, this is, as you know, our biggest room, which would seat 100 for dinner, maybe, if you're lucky, if you're nice and tight. And the ballroom will seat many. And it'll also take care of the inauguration with bulletproof glass, drone-proof ceilings, and everything else. Unfortunately, that today you need.
What people? So we're talking about
how these great American companies can help rapidly rebuild Venezuela's dilapidated oil industry and bring millions of barrels of oil production to benefit the United States, the people of Venezuela, and the entire world. And yesterday, the number is 30 million barrels. I can't even, is that a correct number? 30 million
What
barrels.
the fuck, man?
You hear that, Peter?
Yo!
I'm just now coming to the conclusion that I think he got up to fart.
I'm with that. I'm
in the microphone.
I'm here for that.
You know what? That's the best possible explanation.
I'm here for
Thank
that.
you, Bo.
Style.
Okay, all right.
Substance.
Yeah. No, we don't need it. Well, we just had an oil ad, and now we've got a truck ad. That's pretty good.
Yeah,
okay.
Not no damn EV either. Gas guzzler. We're back.
Goddamn right.
Yeah. Where's coal? Give me some coal.
You know, we hit peak like gas-powered vehicle sales worldwide already. Do you know what year was the top number of sales, and it's been declining since then? Do you want to guess?
What year? When?
Take a guess.
When gas
when gas and diesel vehicle sales started to lose ground against themselves year over year.
I'll go with 2014.
2010.
2018.
Oh, 18. Okay.
So you're close. So since 2018, the year-over-year number of gasoline vehicles purchased worldwide is falling. We're already hit peak gas. We're already being eclipsed by the EVs, and it's all in China and the developing world.
With BYD or whatever the hell that shit's
Yep,
called.
exactly. Build your dreams. That's what it stands for. Yeah, and so like betting the other direction not only is ceding ground to the Chinese and everybody else, but is the dumbest possible business strategy you could possibly imagine.
The oil companies are probably looking like, we don't really want to invest in any oil.
The oil companies are selling chargers.
Exactly. Yeah,
not the Dodge kind.
Because they want to be able to move and pivot. And even when you see these BP commercials, they talk about all their renewable energy and shit like that they're doing, which, I mean, we'll see.
Shell is selling 220-volt chargers. That's what they're selling, because they're not stupid. Speaking of stupid, all right, Tez. Explain to us what the fuck is going on here with the Grok and the Pentagon and the Pete Hegseth and the SpaceX.
Yeah, so this is a sad story, kind of in a way. Obviously, as we talked about a little bit earlier in the headlines, everybody's favorite AI tool, everybody's favorite platform, X. I don't know why we keep calling it Twitter because it is not that anymore. Grok is going to be integrated into the Pentagon networks. Hooray! That sounds safe. The drunk announced on Monday that the U.S. military will be getting. No offense, this is a show for drunks.
Well, would you sell Pete Hegseth any whiskey?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Huh?
Yeah. There's drinking and there's drunks.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. This guy's not a drinker though. This guy's a drunk. But yeah, on Monday, he announced that they're going to go ahead and integrate Elon's lovely artificial intelligence tool into the Pentagon networks. Wow. He was speaking at the SpaceX headquarters in Texas. Because, you didn't know that? Of course, yeah, because all the Silicon Valley people don't want to pay taxes in California any longer, and they want to have their liberty down there in Texas. So he was down there on Monday, and the secretary said the integration of Grok into military systems will go live later this month. Very soon, we will have the world's leading AI models on every unclassified and classified network throughout our department. That's a quote, y'all. That is a quote. And I'm
a little confused why you're calling it Grok.
What is it?
Because it said its name was Mecha Hitler.
Well, yes, it is.
And so giving Mecha Hitler the keys to the Pentagon sounds great.
Yeah.
To me.
We actually lost World War II, clearly. It's clearly that we lost.
It's gonna be the lost cause narrative, but the other way around.
Well, I mean, the lost cause narrative is happening right now.
No, I know. Like they're gonna rewrite this story where really the Germans were the good guys and America was like just trampling on their states' rights or whatever.
Exactly. That's exactly it.
Okay.
On fascist rights. There it is. The drunk also unveiled that the new AI acceleration strategy at the Department of Defense, that he will unleash experimentation, eliminate bureaucratic barriers, and focus on investments and demonstrate the execution approach needed to ensure we lead in military AI and that it grows more dominant into the future. Frightening.
Those are certainly words. I don't think they mean things.
I mean, all right, let's just say AI acceleration strategy. I being that there is no type of government regulation and they don't even want to allow the states, I think it will become illegal for states to regulate AI at any point over the next 10 years, which I think that might be still being fought in court. But you add this in to the military, and I'll just be honest, I don't necessarily around like the secrets themselves. I don't trust any of this. I don't think it's at a point yet where it should be included into the military.
Hang on. If there's anybody who can be trusted with military secrets and to keep that shit under wraps, it's Pete Hegseth. And I know that because he just texted them to me.
Of course. I mean, they're clear. I mean, the one thing this is doing is sending the wrong signal, clearly. But
The one thing, okay,
no, that
okay, sure.
You missed the joke on that one.
I got it. It's a signal joke.
Yeah,
I got it.
But no, I guess there's another piece of this. Clearly, Grok or Mecha Hitler, also known as, this isn't the one. We've seen the issues that this specific platform has had, and granted, right, you could take OpenAI and ChatGPT, Claude. I mean, all of these, they've all had issues, but there's only one that I've seen so far that's giving out CSAN material, creating its own, and that's Grok. And I find it also ties into grifting as well, because it's clear that it's clear why Elon's company would be part of this. And I know Anthropic, I think they've had a contract awarded as well too.
Well, that's the thing, is that like there already was a contract
right
to Anthropic, and then now Elon's got it.
Yeah, I mean, of course, yeah.
So he invested $300 million in getting Trump elected, and then he got a $200 million contract from the Pentagon by himself, for one contract.
Right, for just one.
That's ROI, baby.
Right.
I mean, it's clear. It's clear that we've elected a man of the people who's making sure that the working class folks, are doing well here in this country. No, I mean, this is frightening, and I just don't know. I mean, there's no way to stop AI integration, I think, in specifically in the military, because the military is always going to be at the forefront on these new technologies. I just think there's a way you go about this. And furthermore, you would hope that the American people would elect representatives that you would trust to do this. And unfortunately, they have not done that. And Pete Hegseth is not the person that I would trust to go ahead and integrate or adopt any of these.
Well, that's the challenge is, he wasn't elected, right? He was appointed, and you got to elect the right person that's going to put the right people in charge.
Exactly.
I mean, I was in government for 20 years, and we would have conversations all the time around like the bureaucracy, and it was like, government actually is not something you want to move fast. You want it to be
exactly
right and take the right steps to ensure safety when we're talking about the public good, right? So this, again, I mean, this is crazy. This particular story is crazy.
Right, but it should move slow. That is exactly it. It should be slow.
Can I ask, you to put your tech expert hat on here for a second? But one of the things about AI in general, especially the chatbots and specifically Grok, is they do two things consistently. One is they're extremely deferential to whoever's using them, right? So that's
the
why
idea that keeps you on it.
Keeps you on it.
It's not going to give you critical feedback.
Yeah, and that's how people get in these spirals, and they fall in love with it or whatever. And the other thing is they make ridiculous errors all the time. Yeah. I think often in service of that deferential thing, right? Where if you ask it a question, it will give you an answer that is affirmative to your question, regardless of the facts. And then if you contradict it and say, well, why do you say that? Because this is this other thing that I found, it'll say, you're right, I made a mistake. It should really be this. Is a Skynet that can make errors dangerous, or is it more dangerous than a Skynet that is good at killing humans and installing Terminators or whatever?
Dangerous.
More dangerous, yeah.
More dangerous.
Because the mistake, I mean, if it's hallucinating, if it's in the hallucination, that they use that as a term, I think I wish there was a different term they use for that, but whatever, that's the terminology that they're going to go with. But if it hallucinates and pushes out, creates its own image, right, or does whatever it does, and let's just say that it's an attack, right, and it's not real. That's especially when you're talking about the Department of Defense.
Yeah, that's the thing I'm concerned about. Supposedly,
and then it's tied into Twitter, and it puts out an X post at the same time.
Well, Let's even take it. If you take it out of the technology side, like look at just what happened like in the last week or so with the the 1 year now time limit. If you can't get your folliculitis under control, they give you a discharge from the military now as a black man. So now you're feeding it that as a paradigm, right? So now it's looking for other people, other things to get rid of people who are different, right? So like even just the basics, because you know that the people in there are going to be using it to write policies, procedures, and they're going to be getting that same kind of feedback from what's already been fed in there. So like just at a basic level, before you get to the pushing of the buttons and all of that completely dangerous stuff, you're going to end up getting rid of people that and things that are specifically put in place to be checks and balances in the system.
Yeah,
the first things to go.
The biases that people have will get magnified tremendously and amplified by something like
Absolutely.
this. I think there's a whole nother aspect to this, which is that to some extent, and Grok might be a bit of an exception to this in a worse way than what I'm about to explain, but from what my understanding, and you can help me get this right if I'm wrong about this, even the people who make these things often don't really know how the algorithm decides what it's going to do, because by its very nature, it's constantly rewriting itself, right? That's the machine learning aspect of it. So if you ask the Claude guys, how does it, pick which word comes next, right? They go, well, we feed it a large language model, but it keeps revamping that all the time, and it's figuring that out. Imagine if you set something like that loose on a bunch of very sensitive information, and you don't actually know how it's coming to the conclusions and decisions that it's going. That's one very dangerous thing. Two, it seems pretty clear that Elon has some sort of like kill switch or ability to manipulate the Grok, because he's been doing that over and over, right? When Grok got a little too woke, he like did things and unwoked it or whatever he did. And
it's lines of code. That's it.
Yeah. So like, but if the Pentagon puts this thing in, it gives one man in particular this incredible amount of control in a way that the rest of the entire Defense Department can't even see, and could affect outcomes in ways that they don't know about. Like he could tell Grok to shoot down all the satellites that aren't Starlink. Or
this person also was very close to this data prior to this. Like he was last year he was one of the closer people, was able, like his team with Doge, their whole thing was to go into each one of these departments. So who know? I mean, along with
Big Ball scraped all the information out of there. Yeah. Now he's got control of the Pentagon with Grok. He's going to tell Grok to, pick off people by their social security numbers or whatever. This is a bad move, man.
I mean, I think it could be used for that, but at the end all, I see this being used for them to make more money. Now, again, what casualties, what downfalls are in the future to get to that goal, who knows? Yeah. But yeah, no, I mean, I even look at something like, when was it? Was it in Hawaii when the text message went out on accident?
That was in Hawaii.
That was in Hawaii, right? And those are text messages going out over SMS, right? And that's like those are actual messages that are already ready to go in the case and that's an accident. I think this is like that on steroids of what it could actually do, and send out these actual alerts, and trick people, right? Trick governments. And if people aren't, these things happen fast, right? If people aren't able to, like, if something is pushed out and China's like, oh God, such and such, where there's an attack that's imminent on there, if no one's on the phone in 3 or 4 minutes to be like, yo, that is not the case, you can have worldwide calamity.
Well, and it can go the other way, right? Who's to say that somebody else couldn't trick Grok into firing back at a thing that isn't even there?
That's true. Yeah, it easily can do that.
It's too easy to trick Grok.
I agree with you, Tez. I think the ultimate goal for all of the things that we've seen is the monetary gains from it, and then they just consider everything else collateral damage along the way, no matter how extreme it might be.
I think AI. I think the people. From listening to I don't, and I'm not anti it. I see where its applications is beneficial. But I think the populace is against this. And I do think you could, even beyond like, you couldn't get people to get behind data privacy laws, which seem even more like straightforward to me. But I think you could run platform on AI regulation and get a lot of people behind you. I think you could get a lot of people to force their congressmen and their representatives to act on this. I do think
you don't even have to really specify what it is, right?
No.
You could just run on the idea that AI shouldn't have a role in certain parts of the government, and then just run on that. And
we're still in control of this. And it doesn't feel like that. There's a small window that if people want to actually try to lock this down, you're still in it. I don't think it's the internet in the sense where we let that just do what it did in, China. And I don't think we should have went about it like China did.
I think you're absolutely right. I think there was a specific issue in the last election that they focused in on and used it to sort of act to separate anyone on the fringe. I think this is one of those issues that you could hone in on and bring those people or separate those, whatever you're trying to do to collect the votes like that. This is one of those watershed issues that could have some real legs.
It really could be.
Job numbers that are like coming up. People are already sketchy about the economy. You tie those shits together and be like, hey, look, we want to pause on this and just do this slowly.
AI is coming for your jobs.
Yeah.
Right. The majors that have anything to do with computer science and all that stuff have the lowest enrollment they've ever had in all of the universities, because everybody says, well, look at all the people getting fired in the tech sector because AI is doing all of those jobs. All the cybersecurity.
I wouldn't teach my daughter, remember like in places like everybody needs to go learn to code. I don't think that's the case any longer.
No.
There's no need. You should know the concepts of it and understand it, but you can build things I think a novice can sit down with a large language model and follow. If you can follow instructions specifically around like writing code, you could build a lot of things without.
That's why the first thing I bought my daughter was a pipe wrench. So
not
she can
not affected by AI.
Yeah. But here's what I think we should do. We should start now. I still have Twitter, right? Making friends with Mecha Hitler and just try to make sure that we're on the Grok's good side for when the inevitable Skynet moment happens, and he'll spare us, right? We can be like, oh no, we're entertaining, we're cool. And then maybe we can trick Grok into making us the official spokesman of the Pentagon. It could happen.
I think you have to sign a decree for that. Are we going as a fake journalist?
No, we're real journalists now. Don't you see who they let in the Pentagon briefings? They took everybody's press passes away. They only let content creators into the press room now. We're nothing if not that.
Yeah, we're nothing if not that.
Heavy emphasis on we're nothing. All right. Now, tech is one of Tez's favorite things in the world to talk about, but there is another thing that he is maybe even more passionate about, and a particular person that he is more passionate about than I think anybody even in his own family.
That's not true, but yes.
That's not true.
That's not true. I gotta say that,
but it's the one person he loves more than anybody else, and that's Jerome Powell.
Jerome Powell.
Tez, how did you feel this weekend when you saw your favorite person giving what looked to be a hostage video about what's going on?
I mean, I guess first, right? I mean, it was a rough weekend for him because, right, he lost from the Grateful Dead, right? Yeah, that alone, died, right?
So,
right to start there. I guess and maybe people don't this goes back a little further, so I think to get into context is helpful. But I guess to start with it, the Justice Department opened up a criminal investigation against White Jerome. Yeah. It's crazy. Again, this is
he's white?
I heard it said that someone was just like, they keep seeing his name. Maybe he forgot that he appointed him. He's like,
Yeah.
Jerome Powell.
Jerome.
You know what? Jerome. Like, wait, he has to be doing something nefarious.
And his brother's name is Jermaine.
Right.
I'm just joking.
There you go, Jack. That's a nice one. But yeah, he opened up this criminal investigation, and not because he was doing something funny with like anything in the Federal Reserve, and no, what he opened it up on is around the building itself, right? So yes, the building around the building is what it is. He's been obsessed with this for a while, where obviously they're building renovating the Federal Reserve down there. What is it on Constitution, I believe. And Trump has been accusing Jerome Powell of malfeasance by basically like extending the time. Like they've said that, and this thing is the building of this, what is facts, has taken longer than expected. It is more expensive, but there's been no lying to Congress, which I think has been the specific thing, right?
There's two problems with that. Number one, there's no taxpayer money involved in this at all. The Fed is self-funding.
Exactly.
It's paying for this out of its own pocket. Doesn't matter. Number two, again, friendly HVAC professional here, also facilities manager. Old buildings. You start doing renovations, sometimes you find some stuff that's not structurally sound, that's covered in asbestos, it's made of lead. You got to do some stuff to get it back to like safe or code. That happens a lot.
I'm sure I'm sure at these points too as well. These are historic buildings that need to be at a specific.
Oh my God! Let me tell you about the Hysterical Society. I can't replace the window because I don't have glass from the 1790s.
Exactly. George Washington ain't looked through the glass. You can't use it. You can't use and that's another thing. It's like, all right, there are things that you need to do to actually make this building like look like the other buildings, continue to have the same character it had. But again, he has sent that Fox lady, what's her name? Janine Pirro, who's our lovely attorney here in Washington, D.C. right now.
She loves whiskey too.
Yeah, she does love whiskey too. Yeah, she does. She definitely loves whiskey as well.
She's the only person in the administration who drinks more than Pete Hegseth. I don't think it's whiskey. I think it's red wine. She's a big red wine drinker.
Oh yeah, that's it.
So there's a couple of issues with this, right? Number one, it's not a couple, right? I'm just using that loosely, right? Number one, this is not about the building, as Fed Chair Jerome Powell said in his hostage video. That is, and if everybody has been following this, right? Everybody who listens to the Marketplace has been following this, and nobody else. Like, he's been coming at Jerome Powell since I think he put him in the office, man. I think it was like 3 months after.
In 2017, and he's been
3 months later
at him since.
But Jerome Powell has never really taken that type of bait. I do think with this criminal investigation, and when we talk about these like norms, he was trying to protect the norm of the Fed, and he said it plain and clear. He's like, this has everything to do with interest rates, which I think that statement, I think people will look in the history books. That this will be one. There's many things that we'll talk about in the history book, but the Fed chair standing up to the president and saying, "I won't be intimidated. I won't be bullied." Or you look at Comey, right, former FBI, right? Those things will be etched in the history of this country, and we'll have to look back at this at a time, and people will look and be like, "What the fuck were y'all doing back? What happened?" Like, what happened there? But I think what was crazier is this backfired like shit.
Yeah, I think that's part of why he said that, though. Why Powell said that was to, like, signal to the markets, you guys have a lever to pull here.
And they pull it. I think when we talk about what does this all come back to? Money. This is when anybody starts talking about the fucking bond market, right? Yeah. When people start talking bond market, for everybody else, your eyes glaze over. For me, I'm looking like, oh, okay. we're close. We're close to all of the like house of cards, for lack of a better term, right? Because all of this shit is a belief system. And if no one has belief in it, it all falls down. So, right, Tom Tillis jumps out there and he's like, to quote him, if there are any remaining doubt whether advisors within the Trump administration are actively pushing to end the independence of the Federal Reserve, there should now be none, right? That's a Republican. That's a Republican.
Yeah, but he's retiring. More importantly was what Thune said.
Thune is a yes, because he's the leader of them, right?
Yeah, he's the Senate majority leader, and he came out and said that this is a monumentally stupid thing to attack the Fed. Kennedy down in Louisiana said something sort of similar, that like, what did he say? That would be weapons grade stupid or something like that. He had a phrase. The markets pulled the lever. Jamie Dimon came out and was like, hey, you know, Powell said what he said to do two things. One, to signal the market to check the president for what he's doing. And the second thing was to reassure the markets that he wasn't going to bend. And so that they should feel confident to A, check him, and B, like continue to operate. Because the Dow recovered, everybody recovered within a day, but the bond market took a massive hit.
Yeah.
And yeah, I understand most people aren't me and you, and
it's the board, but this is the underpinnings of everything else. Like I don't think that sometimes translates. And I mean, it's hard because this shit is boring in its nature.
It's not boring. Think of it this way: if you ever hear anybody talking about the bond market, they're talking about the ability of the United States government to borrow money. And if people are worried that they can't lend their money to the federal government, you are in a very, very dangerous place. And that's all you got to know. Essentially, the rate, right, is what the government has to pay to borrow your money. If you think the government is good for their paying it back, you don't charge them that much. If you think they're not good for it, or it could get a little hairy, you're going to charge them a lot of interest. The rate's going to increase. That's what you got to know. That's it. You don't have to be an expert on curves and yields and all this. No. When the federal government's got to pay high interest to borrow money, bad news. Bad news. And that's what will happen, is happening as a result of this interference.
He's also ensured that he doesn't leave the committee. He's ensured he does not step down.
I think if I'm taking bets, I'm saying that after his chairmanship ends, he sticks around.
Yeah, he's not going.
Never happens.
It never happens, but there's no way that
he's going to have to.
He has to stay around, and that's going to open up. They're going to still go after him and try to have him removed from that.
They went after Cook. They couldn't get her.
Exactly. Yeah, they couldn't get her. Yeah, they could. Well, actually, I don't know. The Supreme Court, they
defended her.
Have they cleared that?
Yeah, that's over. That's over. He's got nothing. He's got nothing on her, and also the fake attorney that he sent to prosecutor.
Yeah, that was what it was.
Is not a real attorney.
Yes,
and she's illegitimate. And two judges in Richmond, one of which was appointed by Trump, each of them wrote 24 pages of, "Hey, lady, get the fuck out." So that's a lot to write. 24 pages of why somebody. I mean, it's obvious, right? She's Lindsay Halligan was appointed illegally. She's not legitimate in her role, and here's the statute, and here's the bit of precedent that shows it. That could fit on like 2 pages, single spaced. And instead they expanded it to 24 pages of, here's several reasons why you should get the fuck out of here, lady. And that's good. Okay,
let's go into more exciting news.
Oh, I get to talk about Mississippi. Now, normally when I talk about Mississippi on this show, it's not usually, with glowing praise for our friends down there in Oxford or wherever. This time,
literacy rates on the up.
Yeah, actually, it's way better than it is here.
Yes, you didn't believe me when I told you.
I didn't believe you.
You did not believe me. I had to send you the stats. It's kind of crazy.
But I stand corrected. or sit
It's because,
correctly.
it's because the woman from Maryland went actually down to take that over, which is kind of odd how that happened.
That's right. That's how that works. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's what happened. There is a synagogue in Jackson, Mississippi. One.
What?
One. There's one. Just one.
That's crazy. One.
All 17 of my cousins that are down there go to that one. Like there's not many of us, so we don't need very many synagogues. There's one, just one. It's been there for a long time. And over the years, it's, Mississippi, right? So synagogue in Mississippi,
I mean,
that's a rough sentence.
Look, when your folks went down there with my folks, trying to help some people to vote, didn't work out too well for anybody around there.
A little rough.
Yeah, a little rough. Not popping,
Yeah.
Those guys on the horses and the cloths.
So back in the 60s, right, this synagogue got attacked in 1967, I think it is, because of, that. And the Klan has always been kind of like, unplussed with our existence and certainly with that building.
Yeah.
And so, so they've been through some tough times, but it's weathered it and it stood, and the people have rallied around it. And there's I think it's an Episcopal church or Methodist church. It's a Methodist church. It's across the street that they have basically, when the synagogue got burned back in the 60s, then they gave them space, and they've been sort of like tied together, as a group. So then this kid, Stephen Spencer Pittman, this guy, look at this fucking guy. Yeah. Whew. He's 19, and he set the place on fire, and he like did it badly. He poured a bunch of gas in there, got caught on the cameras, and then he called his dad and was like, "Hey, Dad, I'm about to burn the synagogue." And his dad was like, "Please don't do that." And he was like, "Nope, I'm doing it." And he hung up, and then he lit it on fire, and he burned himself really bad. So then he called his dad back from another phone, and then he's like, "Hey, I'm on my way to the hospital." So he goes to the hospital, and then he takes a picture of himself burned in the hospital bed and posts it on Instagram right before the cops get there.
It's a disease. It's like take away like racism and prejudice as that disease, but this disease of the phone and Instagram is crazy. That's crazy, man. Wait, hold on.
He was like, "I'm about to go down, but let me get some clout first."
Right.
And
to the very end.
So when I read the phrase "scripture backed fitness," all I could think of was the Righteous Gemstones.
Yes.
If you've ever seen that show, scripture backed
fitness. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Is that just lifting Bibles? They're pretty.
No idea.
That's what Moses was doing up there on Sinai, right? Those stone tablets, they're really heavy. And he was just so
CrossFit gym.
Yeah, it was Sinai was the first CrossFit gym. That's hilarious.
Oh yeah.
Sorry.
That's funny. I would have thought Jesus would have started the first CrossFit.
Yeah,
that's why I stopped.
So anyway, so this kid burns the synagogue. Oh no!
Sorry, excuse me. Sorry.
So tough.
Oh, it's a rough show. So the kid burns the synagogue, right? And the cops get him because the dad called the cops. He's like, "Yo, I know who did it," and they get him, and he confessed.
What are you sitting around as a father, and you're sitting on the couch, and like.
And your son calls you, and he's like, "Hey, Dad, I'm about to commit a hate crime."
Yeah, right. Dumbass boy.
And it's Mississippi, right? So he's like, "Which hate crime?" And then he was like, "I'm going after the Jews." And his dad,
911 hung up like 3 times. It's like, "Oh, that's okay."
Yeah, right, yeah. That's fine.
Again. Hey, no. Another operator.
Call me back when you're going after somebody I care about. So yeah, so the cops get him and he confesses, right? And he tells in his arraignment or whatever from his hospital bed, he's like, oh yeah, because the Jews are doing things with Satan or whatever nonsense he's spitting. That's not really the
He's
story.
the one with the fire.
Yeah, right?
Only person doing shit with fire.
We don't mix well with fire. There was this incident in the 40s. It was not good. It's
like us in boats.
Yeah.
Same shit. No, I'm fucking around the fucking boats, man.
All right, so that's not the story, though. The story is that as of press time right now, there has been not a single statement about this horrific act of anti-Semitism from the White House, from J.D. Vance, from Department of Homeland Security. Not a single one. Now, in Minnesota, where one of their guys shot somebody and killed her dead, minutes, and Cowboy Barbie is out there going, oh no, well that guy, the officer got run over and dragged for miles. He had to shoot in self-defense. Wasn't true. J.D. Vance took no time, away from his filing divorce papers from Usha to go and say, oh no, this was definitely, the self-defense and all. But this administration that took money from Harvard, Columbia, all these places, came after Michigan, all of these places for their anti-Semitism. Here they have a moment. They have an opportunity, right? They have a chance to not be the Nazis. But instead, they are radio silent. And we're minutes from them proclaiming this dude, Spencer Pittman, as a very fine person, and probably less than 6 months from some sort of federal pardon and possibly a job in the administration.
He'll be there when like Benjamin Netanyahu comes by.
Right. Yeah. Special envoy to...
No one will say anything.
It's social media, man.
Exactly. Right. It was crazy. Stephen Miller will welcome him with open arms. And I have no clue what's going on anymore.
That's who we need to talk about. Okay. It's Miller and the friends like him. Okay. Look, fellow tribes people, we can leave the goyim out of this for a minute. Guys, listen up. These guys are not our friends. I don't care if Stephen Miller tells you that they're friends. They're not. It's not cool, man.
They're going to get him too.
Yeah. Yes.
They're going to get him
too. When they all come back, right? When the Fuentes guys get up and take over, they're going to be like, come here, Stephen Miller, if that's your real name. Yeah. Right. And it's get on the fucking train. They're not our friends. And whenever they say, oh, they're fighting for us, they're defending us against anti-Semitism, what they mean is they're attacking Muslims and Arabs, and that is not the same thing. This right here is white supremacist, anti-Semitic, Klansman bullshit. And this administration hasn't said a fucking word about it. So if I hear another one of my friends, cousins, or otherwise talking about, oh, this administration, Trump, is a friend to Israel, you don't get to be a friend to Israel or a friend to Jewish people and let something like this go.
He's a friend to the Israeli government.
He's a friend to Netanyahu. He's not even a friend of the government.
It's a better direct one. He's a friend of Netanyahu. Right.
Yeah.
There you go.
Let's just be clear. Guys, get your bats. Mind yourself. Pay attention. Look who's around. It's not a good time. Okay?
2A. That's the whole reason I thought that the whole reason for this. Damn, like we're talking about the text, right?
I'm not saying not to. I'm just saying also there's a satisfaction in that sound of the melon smashing, it's fine. Louisville, Easton, whatever your preference is. They got those new composite ones that they're real light and they got good bat speed.
I never heard someone win stand your ground case with a bat.
Torpedo bat. Yeah, one of those Yankees ones.
Oh God.
All right, and then let's go on with like this thing about Minnesota. Okay, we talked about this briefly last week.
It's gotten
we've
worse.
got some possible autopsy reports that show that she was shot. The lady that was shot, Renee Good, was shot, in her arm and in the side of her head from the side window.
This fucking guy too also has had his phone out as well and gave
while
the
he
phone,
did it.
Gave the phone or put the phone away so that he could have a trigger finger ready to go. Insane.
And all the video is very clear what happened here. She's driving away and he shot her. Okay. The protests now are expanding. And it's Minnesota and it's January. It's cold as shit. And people are still out there. The city of Minneapolis has 600 police officers, which I thought was pretty low for a city that size. There are 3,000 ICE in that city right now.
Wow.
That is 5 times the number of sworn officers in the city of Minneapolis. They are right now the thin blue line protecting the people from the ICE or the ICE from the people. It's not clear where this is going. The violence is increasing. ICE is shooting at more people. They shot another person. They had some story about being attacked with a snow shovel. We're learning that the ICE agents are untrained. They can't pass any of their entrance examinations. There was a reporter who applied for a job at ICE who failed her drug test because she was smoking weed as she did it and was still given the job offer.
Wow.
The bonus too?
Yeah. I mean, she didn't sign the thing to get the bonus.
Yeah.
None of them can pass the physical fitness tests. Many of them have had their training skipped because their resume contains the word officer. And so therefore they don't have to go to firearms training, because when Grok, which I'm not making this up, the AIs that are reading their resumes see that, they are calling it police officer, and therefore they don't have to do the training, even if it says like compliance officer or finance officer or any of these other kinds of things, board officer of the local, Rotary Club. They're skipping their training. Do you know how many days of training these guys get when they join ICE?
What is it, like 72 hours or something like that?
Oh, no, it's more than that, but it's a very specific number. You want to take a guess?
69 hours.
It's funny. 47 days.
Why
okay. 47 days, you might ask?
I was going in the wrong. I got it. Let's see.
They get 47 days of training.
The wrong way that way, but
47, that's not good. 47 because Trump is the 47th president.
Yes, exactly.
They're untrained. They're ill-equipped. These guys, many of them can't read and write. They're failing open book tests. They don't know the law. They don't know what they're doing.
These are clearly the perfect people for a secret police. It's clearly
they are now the largest law enforcement agency in the entire country.
Yeah.
There are more sworn ICE officers than there are FBI agents, than there are any other law enforcement agency in this country. And if you don't think that this whole thing is about gathering up some sort of militant paramilitary group that can be turned on whatever target they want it to be, you are woefully asleep.
That's fine, but it still goes back to, with that, the people aren't running scared of that. And
they aren't.
What I've said from the beginning of this is always will come down to the American people. And eventually, and look, no one's saying that it can't, and God forbid it gets to the point where ICE agents are like, they're already shooting people, but now I'm talking about like mass murder in the streets. God forbid it gets to that point. It still ends up being the people, and at that point, putting pressure on that goddamn Congress. And I know, but at a certain point, do people sit there and be like, this has gone too far?
If they open up and mow down a bunch of protesters, it's over, right? Then the war is on. But the people aren't running scared, but you know who is? All the prosecutors in the offices.
Yes,
So
they all
a bunch of career lawyers in the U.S. Attorney's Office in Minneapolis left. Okay, a bunch of people in the U.S. Attorney in the Justice Department Civil Rights Division, Criminal Prosecution Division here in D.C. left because they were told by the administration, by Trump, to go and investigate and try to prosecute the widow of Renee Good. For what? There was nothing. They couldn't find a reason. No. But they were told that doesn't matter. Go get her anyway.
No.
It happened on a Tuesday, so it's not a Saturday night massacre. It's a Tuesday night massacre, but just saying.
Yeah, I think there's two things, right? I think the one thing is you still need the right to assemble needs to continue to happen, and like nothing but like kudos to the protesters who are out there that are doing that. I mean, that's huge. You need to have that mechanism in this country and people who are on the activist front of this. On the other side of this, the government, the Congress, you have to shut the government down. Clearly.
Absolutely.
It's clear. There's no other options, guys. And and we can't have this stupid shit that we did the last time, right? It can't be that. At this point, you have to shut the government down. We
didn't get the subsidies anyway.
Exactly. We did. Yeah, exactly. It was the last one is mind-boggling. And again, Democrats don't miss an opportunity, right? That one, it's clear as day there. But this one here, you could lose because then you give the people no option at that point, and then this continues to escalate because then they feel like there's nothing being done. And there is no other mechanism, right, that Congress has at this point besides shutting the government down and saying we will not allow funding to continue this.
No, but it's already funded. That's the problem. They got $178 billion in the one big ugly bill, and so they can't stop it, but they can shut everything else down.
They can shut everything else down, though.
Okay. You want some irony on top of irony?
Not really, but let's go.
Okay. Let's go look in South Dakota. Do you know there's a South Dakota? There's two Dakotas. They're hard to tell apart because they look the same. They're just like big rectangles in the middle of the country.
I wonder where that word comes from, Dakota.
You wonder, right? Where does that word Dakota come from?
I wonder where that comes from.
It's a misspelling of the word Lakota, which might refer to, I don't know, the people who live there or who did live there until...
My daughter is learning about the American West, and literally today was like, "Yo, I learned about Lakota." I was like, "Well, let me tell you."
Let me tell you about me.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so the Oglala Sioux, which is one of the tribes, they're a federally recognized tribal nation. They're in South Dakota. They have a leader, right? They're president of their tribe. His name is Frank Star Comes Out, which is a great name.
It's so good.
Like his last name is Star Comes Out. That's all. You have to say the whole thing. It's like a pimp name slip back. And so President Star Comes Out told everybody that a bunch of his tribe members were arrested in Minneapolis by ICE and suspected of being in this country illegally.
Native Americans.
Native Americans.
Let's end the show, guys. Let's just end the show. Yeah. Let's just cut
this
off from this point. Like, what are we talking about? How if I was like, if you just had any concept of this, like, even if you didn't know, like, you couldn't look, you couldn't tell, but you're going through this process, you're arresting them, and they're like, wait, no, hold on. Are you an American citizen? No. I'm Native American. Okay. All right. You know what? Go. All right. You know what? Say less. Clearly, I can't do anything with you. Like, there's nothing.
So the tribe's memorandum makes clear that tribal citizens are not aliens and are categorically outside immigration jurisdiction, said President Starr Comes Out. Enrolled tribe members are citizens of the United States by statute and citizens of the Oglala Sioux Nation by treaty. They have been here before there was a United States. And these ICE guys...
the United States because of them. In the sense of less of even taking the land, but even the concept of like the unions, the confederations come from them.
Yes, Yes. Yes. So the Ice Cubes were like, hey, you look a little brown. You're coming with us. And these guys were like, yeah, we are brown. We're red, in fact. As a matter of fact, you're coming with us. I think you guys are here illegally.
Exactly.
We didn't agree to this. Get the fuck in the truck. And they were like, no, you get the fuck in the truck. And then they had a good argument about who has the fucking truck. You have stepped so far. You have jumped so many sharks. If you're arresting First Nations people for being here illegally. What, illegally?
Out of control.
Imagine. I just walk over to your yard, be like, this shit is mine now. As a matter of fact, you're here illegally.
Well, hold on. This is mine now. But you know what? We're going to work it out on paper, though. You can still hang around here. You can have your own little shitty-ass piece of land. I'll keep all the good land. And this, that, right? You'll have your piece. And then years later, your ancestors are like, oh, we've been doing this for a while. It's okay. It's cool. We've assimilated to this. And then someone then comes and says, no, you're not from here. We're gonna return you. And you're like, wait, no, hold on. Wait, no. I am actually from here. And then you guys tried to make us not from here, but we worked that out on paper.
You're not from here.
You're not from here.
Look at you.
Should have scalped more.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. All right, that's what it be. That's what we went under.
Like, right, listen here, Chadwick Von Beesen or whatever your fucking name is.
Wherever the fuck you've come from, right? Exactly.
My name is President Star Comes Out.
Yeah.
You get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. It feels like a lawsuit to me.
Lawsuit?
Yeah.
This is a war. There were wars.
But now he should be able to sue.
You want to know why they say that they're treaty this? Because there was a treaty signed in 1862 because the Lakota fought a war in the middle of the Civil War. In the middle of the Civil War, the United States military, the Army, still had time and manpower to go up to the Dakotas to go fight and take the land from the people who already lived there. They're like, yeah, we got this giant war going on along the Mason-Dixon line and fighting our other fellow white people, but we can take a few thousand of guys and some cannons and shit and go kill those brown people up there and take their wasteland in North Dakota, South Dakota, and wherever else. They had time for that.
Yeah, exactly. Because they're fighting
and
the war.
The treaty.
Because they're fighting the war. Because when we take that land, we don't want slaves on it. Well, some didn't want slaves on it. The other folks did want. It's the whole thing. It's the whole concept. That's what it is. That's it. Yeah. Yes.
My brain can't handle.
That is crazy, actually. We're in a glitch. Clearly, it's clearly like I can't wait to talk about this time in the refugee camps.
I'm 100% sure that the arresting officers didn't even know what any of that meant. They're like, tribe. Like
tribe.
Like what?
Called Quest?
Yeah, native. What?
No, they didn't know that.
Exactly.
What?
You ready? A Tribe Called Quest and the Native Tongues.
I know, right? Exactly. There you go.
That's a double.
I see what you did there.
Yeah. I got it.
All right. So remember the guy who stole the podium from Speaker Pelosi's office when they had their day of love and smeared shit all over the walls? Yeah, that guy. His name's Adam Johnson. He looks like a
fucking Adam.
Yeah. He looks like a happy dude, right? Now keep in mind, now remember that image. You know, him waving, holding the podium, looking all happy. You're gonna see that image again. Maybe on a campaign sign. There it is in Manatee County. He's running for county commissioner.
Wait, hold
logo.
And that's the logo of his campaign. Yep.
Manatee County. Where in Florida is this?
South Florida.
South Florida, okay.
Yeah.
Manatee County.
That's a real place.
I know it's a real place. Just
it votes heavily Republican. It's too far outside of Miami.
Nah.
So he's probably gonna win. You see his logo, Brian? Put that back up.
The logo is crazy.
Yeah, that's him holding the podium, waving. That's it.
It's so frustrating because to bring this right back to Donald Trump, right? And the framers create all this shit, right? And the only way you can hold really the president accountable, right? There's no like, obviously the juries and like you could be criminal cases, but the main idea was to stop people like this when they've abused the power, to never allow them to go ahead and take office again, right? And it just right then and there about January 6th, it is clearly that's kind of where we lost this, right? In those 5 days after that, where they weren't able to go ahead and convict him and to bar him. And they could have carved it out where they just barred him from running again. And and that is the domino that unleashes everything else.
That's right.
I would take it further back. I would say it's the what's the name of the statute? When the Supreme Court approved companies as people so they could donate.
14th Amendment. Oh, Citizens United. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Yes.
Yeah. I think that yes. That I think that was the first domino, because then now you have a reason for all of these people to want him to come back. Like the people that came and kissed the ring in the second term that you would have never saw on the podium on the first term is because now you have a free for all. I can pay to play, which is what Elon is doing and everyone else. I'm paying to play now.
Yeah,
I mean, federal election should be capped at like small donors at $500 or some shit like that,
or not.
Right.
I mean, the First Amendment is the First Amendment, and money is speech. That's the argument.
That's why it's interpreted, and I don't believe they interpret that way, and that's fine. They've interpreted that. Congress could write new laws.
They could.
Yeah, I know.
Theoretically,
Congress writing laws.
Congress doing anything. They can't even name a fucking post office. You know, like that's the one thing that they're always able to do. Remember, we covered that on this show that they like struggled with naming because they were like, we can't have a Chuck Brown post office. He's too black.
Federal felon.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. Just don't go to that post office, you fucking moron. So Adam is one of at least three people who've run there's three Republicans who ran unsuccessfully for Congress in 2024 who were J6 alums. And then, there's several more. There's one guy, Jake Lang, who was charged with assaulting an officer, civil disorder, and other crimes before he was pardoned. He recently announced that he's running for Rubio's old spot.
Because why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? I mean, you got pardoned. Yeah. You got pardoned for an event, which I still will say that is bigger than 9/11. We don't even. Again, it wasn't on.
I want to be clear that the DHS is saying that their justification for shooting at people who are not harming them is because they feared for their lives and their safety, and these guys got pardoned for actually attacking law enforcement.
Killing law enforcement.
Yeah, they got pardoned for that. So, yeah.
That was a bad day for me. I was just watching it on TV, but man, I mean, I agree with you completely, Tez.
It was jarring
for our democracy. I mean, it's ridiculous.
And we see it all
happening now. It's still happening. I don't think it stopped happening, right? It's slowed down, and it's happening in different ways, whether it's the protests over Tina Peters in Colorado, or whether it's the number of people running to or trying to run for county commissioners or county election officials to undo the elections and get control of the apparatus. That is still January 6th.
Absolutely.
And to the point about whether it's 9/11 or similar, I never processed 9/11. I think we talked about that before, that I just sort of like look at it as a data point in history because I can't really process it. I kind of have to look at this too because I remember it happening, and because I had friends who were there who were calling and saying like, oh my God, go go hug my family for me. I'm maybe too close to it, too traumatized by it to really interrogate it directly without losing my mind. So I just don't. And, it's very healthy.
I was going to say no, I mean, it was a mile away from it, right? Less than a mile away from it.
Yeah.
Like, when this was happening, I can see that day vividly. Because I remember being like, oh, well, let's just see. This is going to see how this count goes, right? It's the first time we're actually going ahead and figuring out this has become a thing, right? Because less alone of them attacking it, but just the actual count.
The act of it happening. Nobody had ever watched that before.
Because we knew that people were going to object to these. That was already.
I was watching to see Ted Cruz be an idiot.
Yeah, exactly. And then I remember I put my daughter for a nap time, and I kind of dozed off. And when I woke up, it was a dude in the leg with his fist up, and I was like, wait, actually first the woman on C-SPAN was white, but she was pale, and I was like, what the fuck is going on? You look at me, what the hell is going on? And then they cut to that scene with him in the chair. I was like, oh, let me go in my back. Oh, I looked down to I can see the Capitol from where I was at. And I was like, oh, here we go. We're here, yeah. That night in DC was insane. That is an insane night.
I have to try to not think about it.
It was wild. And I meant specifically in like the terms of like the impact on our continuing democracy. Like I think the impact will continue to reverberate. Like you said, like, I mean, it's still happening. It's still happening. 6 years later, 5 years later, whatever it is. The dominoes still falling right from that day.
Yeah, I'm convinced that this is still, and I'm convinced that Trump pardoned these guys specifically to create a group of brown shirts that he can use to go, instigate violence in other places. I think at his beck and call.
I think some of those people will do that. I do think there's a variety of those people that realize that. Like, I don't think every one of them is like, oh, I'm still. Those people who spent however many months. I don't really spent years in jail at that point. I mean, a few of them spent a couple years.
Yeah, it's mostly a few months.
I mean, most of the folks are a few months, but I do think there's a decent amount of those folks who are like, and maybe they still voted for him there. I don't think they'll get activated like that again because there will be repercussions for this eventually. Now, whatever that looks like, and the repercussions could end up being what they need to be is hardening this goddamn Constitution so that shit like this can't actually happen.
And they need to collect up everybody who had anything to do with it and throw them under every fucking jail there is.
I think it's impossible to do that now.
Okay, well, Kilauea is currently erupting, so just chuck them in there for a little while.
They've been pardoned. I just
collect them up with like an excavator and just drop them in the volcano, and then it's all over.
And we all know America isn't good at like reckoning their past on there, so this will probably be another lost cause. Like this will eventually they'll be like, yeah, the great patriots, but it is. I think it's up to us and for folks to always challenge this. But every one of these January 6th, there will be, like on 9/11, no one's like, yeah, man, there were good people on both sides.
Right. But Biden kind of had a point. No, nobody's saying that.
Nobody says that. No, nobody says that. That will happen with this. There will be.
It's already happened. They're all here.
But I'm saying this will happen forever. It will happen forever.
Yeah. It'll be like the Confederacy. Oh, those people were just, fighting for their own way. Yeah. All right. I've had enough of that. I was going to tease Brian about Harbaugh going to the Steelers and Tomlin coming to Baltimore. Tomlin could still do it, but it looks like Harbaugh's going to the Giants.
He's on the Giants.
So yep. That makes that joke not funny anymore. So,
but Brian, I did say that. Actually, I do have the proof of what I said last week.
You have it queued up? Are you ready to shame us?
Here we go, folks.
Well, I think that we're on.
I told this to many people. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna told this to many people. John Harbaugh may be fired, but Mike Tomlin is on that hot seat. I do not see the Pittsburgh Steelers beating Houston, and if they surprisingly do, they will not get anywhere past the divisional. Mike Tomlin is actually out this door within the next week.
Tomlin's in trouble too. I think that Harbaugh and Tomlin were the longest tenured head coaches in the league by a lot. by like orders of magnitude.
Yeah.
And with the exception of Andy Reid, and Andy Reid's a legend, nobody can touch him. But like, I think that these guys, if one goes, then the other is vulnerable. As long as
that's true. One goes, the other was vulnerable, and the sad thing is, Tomlin didn't part ways. He just walked out the door by himself. He just kept walking.
He still own his rights. They could trade him.
Yeah, that's the thing. He could be traded.
He could be traded.
I think Tomlin is going to be taking a break.
Yeah, he'll be on Fox. He's definitely
he'll be on
CBS. Let's be clear. It's AFC. He's going to be on CBS, but
yeah, Fox has the money.
All right, so Brian, we need you to explain to us what the fuck is going on with the Canadians and the people in Bahrain. And I was afraid to print this story.
Yeah, this is the most strangest story. So apparently there is this Canadian adult boutique store by the name of Bonjibon. Bonjibon. And apparently someone was either ordering or it was accidentally shipped to a naval base in Bahrain. And apparently
don't like that over there.
Yeah. So the owner of the shop, Grace Bennett, she got got an order from the quote unquote Department of War, pretty much getting a statement stating that pornographic materials or devices are not allowed into the Kingdom of Bahrain. Adult items identified during X-ray mail screening. So yeah, she
mail
like wasn't aware of this.
MAIL mail.
Yes. As in the postal service.
The typical mail. So someone accidentally got a bunch of butt plugs and vibrators in their naval sack. So it is I don't know, it's the most weirdest thing. But the thing here is the fact that the Department of quote unquote War has an issue with this shit. It is, and I understand there's, in whatever other countries they have their, issues of, or their prohibit and restrictions on pornographic materials is understandable. But if last I checked, isn't a naval base an American soil?
Yeah, but it's still got to get into the country. I don't know. I mean, this isn't helping the Navy's reputation. Let me just say that.
Well, there's some horny folks, man.
No. That's not the reputation I'm talking about. Yeah.
Someone alerted the Crown Prince of Bahrain that this shit was coming in. He sent a call and was like, I don't know. You want to foul my country? Actually, it's a military base.
I'll tell you, when I deployed to Iraq as a civilian with Department of Defense, and that was this whole topic was like beat into you into train, because I was going to Bahrain, I was going ultimately to Baghdad, but you had to go through Qatar in order to get there, which has the same kind of laws. And so you couldn't have had anything transported in your bag or mailed to you that would, it was like a whole half day worth of beating it into people. Like, no, seriously, leave anything that is even questionable behind. Yeah.
The Navy has this reputation of 100 sailors go get on the submarine and 50 couples come back and all this kind of stuff. And then it turns out they're shipping butt plugs and vibrators to each other. It's just not good. And I thought Hegseth was fixing this, right? He said that he was going to get rid of all the gay sailors or whatever. He's not great at it. He's bad at that too. He don't go to Bahrain because they don't have booze there.
No way, can't be there.
Can't ship that in. All right,
or maybe
I'm sure he's got
some things. I see some shady looking Listerine bottles come by my desk here.
All right, you hear that music, which means we've come to the end of the show. We want to say thank you so much to Bo Wheeler for hanging out with us.
Thank you.
Amazing. We got to have you back. We're going to do a show from your venue, right? We got to do that.
Absolutely, please. We'd love to do it.
All right, and if we need a guest host, you're already signed up. So
please, whenever you want.
No. So I can take a week off.
Let me look for my PTO time right now. We got someone that's let me send it in. Hold on, get the PTO right now.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
We really had a great time. And tell everybody one more time the website where they can get all the stuff.
www.awsco.co or arthurwheeler.com.
There you go. All right, go check that out. We want to say thanks to our radio partners, the Bahrain Butt Plug Company and the Mike Tomlin Hair Plug Company. Thanks to NOTN for keeping us on for another week. Maybe, don't know.
East Asian Tea Company?
Yeah, something like that. Thanks to our home on the interwebs, coplaymedia.com, and thanks as always to our family here at Beltway and Rip Radio for making us sound as smooth as Bo's Washington Commanders whiskey. All right, where can everybody get you on the socials there, Tez?
You can find me on Blue Sky at DC Cortez, and I've deactivated my Instagram, so don't look for me for that.
Oh, no, I'm going to keep tagging you anyway. All right, and you can find me and the show on the Twitter at ChipChatRR, and you can find us on Facebook or Instagram at RipChipChat, and you can find me on the Blue Sky at my old Twitter handle, Chef Chip, if you want to hang out and be a flaming liberal with Tez or whatever and yell about baseball and soccer. All right. And
speaking of baseball, don't forget, you guys will be on the next episode of No Filter Sports, new episode. Right. So stay tuned. We'll re-talk about all this coaching changes in both the NFL and Premier League, because there's a lot of crazy changes over there too.
No more massing either for the Nats either, baby. Keep their fucking massing, baby. We're going bye-bye. We're out. It's done.
Good. Finally. Get off our stupid channel.
Finally,
it doesn't work half the time.
Half the fucking time.
All right. I'm Chip. That's Tez. That's Bo and Brian somewhere in the background. You've been listening to Chip Chat on Beltway Radio and beyond.
Butt plugs.
Jokes. We may drink a cup.